National Football League, we welcome you to Glendale, Arizona. It's the New York Giants and the Arizona Cardinals on Fox. And a good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. Kenny Albert with Darryl Johnston and Tony Siragusa. What can the New York Giants do for an encore following their tremendous victory in Philadelphia last Sunday?
You know, get ready for a game, Kenny. We look at a lot of stats and we focus on matchups, but at its core, the game of football is an emotional game, and the confidence that the New York Giants gained last week beating Philadelphia is going to be irreplaceable. And you heard the players talk about it this week. You know, now we know what we're capable of as a team. That's huge for them going through the rest of the season.
And the Giants today, Darryl, take on an Arizona Cardinals club that has lost their last two games.
Kind of the exact opposite. They're trying to find that confidence right now. A lot of talk and a lot of excitement about what Arizona could be this season, coming off that 5-11 season a year ago. But after losing those two winnable games, where is their confidence? It's going to be interesting to see how they respond today against the Giants.
Should be fun. Time now to take a look at our Chase Freedom Cashback players to watch.
Well, the one way that they can get started is with Kevin Kolb having a great afternoon today. Still learning this offense, a big challenge against that Giant front.
Eli Manning, 4 touchdown passes in Philadelphia, named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Don't get shortchanged. Get your cash back with Chase Freedom. For more information, log on to chase.com/freedom. There's Goose, Tony Siragusa, brought down by Larry Fitzgerald. Goose up next, but first, today's NFL Mobile Moment presented by Verizon.
Sorry, fantasy fans, Antonio Gates will be out again this afternoon. And here's the problem. He has an injury on the bottom of his foot, plantar fascia. It was supposed to be healed in the offseason. It never healed. He's being pushed to shoot it up. But because he's battled foot injuries for so long and he's taken so many injections, he just doesn't want to go that route. Unfortunately, this is going to linger all season long. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL from your mobile phone to get NFL Mobile only from Verizon.
Been better.
Yeah?
It's been a great day.
Ready to go?
Absolutely. It's been a long time. I haven't played in a while, but I think I'll be all right.
You look good.
Trying to, man. Trying to look as good as you, man.
255. Have a good one. Stay healthy.
Yes, sir, man.
Got it. All right. Thanks, Host.
Well, good news for the New York Giants. O.C. Umenyiora is back. But also got some bad news. Justin Tuck is out. And with Justin Tuck out, that defensive line for the Giants needs to go and find a way to bring some pressure up into the face of Kevin Kolb, who has been struggling with learning this new offense. If they can go and bring that pressure right up in his face, they can definitely force him into some bad decisions.
All right, thanks very much, Goose. A look at early scores. Cowboys leading the Lions by 6. Eagles over the 49ers, 23-17, just over 5 minutes remaining. First win for the Kansas City Chiefs. Wild one in Chicago. Houston over Pittsburgh. Tennessee in a rout over the Browns. And how about the 3-0 Bills tied to the final minute with Cincinnati?
Yeah, big game there, but a lot of tight games earlier this afternoon. You pointed out, really, the Tennessee-Cleveland game, the only game that kind of a comfortable lead for the Titans. But some of those games, some big leads early on, but the other team coming back, fighting hard, getting back into that game late.
We are set to go in Arizona. Former Giant Jay Feely will get things started. Giants welcome back, as Goose mentioned, O.C. Umenyiora, along with wide receiver Mario Manningham, who missed last week's game. And the Cardinals get their top 2 running backs back in the lineup today.
Yeah, Beanie Wells, a big addition. That's going to help out Kevin Kolb.
Every quarterback needs a running game, Darryl.
Devin Thomas takes it out from 5 yards deep. And Thomas is stopped at the 17-yard line, shy of the 20. 22 yards on the return and some extracurricular activity. So Eli Manning, coming off a terrific performance last Sunday, leads the Giants offense onto the field.
Just a great performance by Eli Manning last week, and we touched on it at the beginning of that game. You know, the fact that he kind of had to pick this offense up and put it on his shoulders. Victor Cruz, a breakout afternoon, but I got to give Kevin Gilbride a lot of credit. He called a great game, had some great play designs against that Eagle defense.
First and 10 from the 17-yard line. Manning throws on first down. It was intended for Manningham, who missed last week's game with a concussion. suffered in the Giants win over the Rams. A.J. Jefferson on the coverage.
And I think that that's what you'll see from this offense today. You may be throwing it a little bit more on first and second down. That's when you know what Arizona's going to give you. So it's up to the skill players here to take advantage of that. And this is one of the best offensive lines that Arizona has faced so far this season. Darnell Dockett very impressed with them up front.
Two tight ends in the game for the Giants on 2nd and 10. Manning to the air once again. And Adrian Wilson. Pass was deflected, intended for Manningham, and it hit the ground before Wilson could come up with the pick. So 3rd and 10 upcoming for the Giants. Jerome Boger, our referee this afternoon.
There's Mario Manningham working. They're playing some zone coverage, but we're getting some great breaks on the ball right here. That's a real heads-up play by Adrian Wilson. He sees the ball coming, turns down that flat where his man is going, drops back into that curl zone where Mario Manningham was.
3 wide receivers, Victor Cruz in the slot. Penalty marker as Manning's pass is batted down by Clark Higgins.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 88, 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
We talked about this being an emotional game at the top, Kenny, and the Arizona Cardinals have taken this field with a ton of emotion right now, and the Giants struggling to match that.
Well, they are flying around down there on the field. That secondary is fired up.
Penalty forces the Giants back, 3rd down and 15 from their own 12.
Great job by Clark Higgins getting his hands up on that last play. That's a way to deflect balls up on that defensive line. Let's see what they do here.
Manning on 3rd and 15, sets up the screen. Bradshaw loses the football. And the Cardinals have it. Higgins on the recovery.
When you watch the Arizona Cardinals on tape, they are flying around to the football. This is great hustle from the backside by Calais Campbell, big number 93, pressuring the quarterback, recognizes screen, and then chases from behind. He's the one with the big hit that knocks that ball loose from Ahmad Bradshaw.
You are absolutely right, Down. This defense was running around. Now let's see what this Giants defense can do.
Scoot. 1st and 10 from the Giants, 16 for Kevin Kolb. And the Arizona Cardinals, this is Beanie Wells in this last week's game with the hamstring injury. And he's tackled for loss by Aaron Ross.
Well, getting Beanie Wells back is going to be really important for this offensive group of the Arizona Cardinals. That's going to help Kevin Kolb out. A big group of offensive linemen up front, maybe design more for that run game. And one of the things the Giants want to do, get them into passing situations and turn loose that speed and athleticism of that front.
2nd down and 11. Kolb over the middle to Fitzgerald. And Larry Fitzgerald tackled by his good friend and former teammate Antrell Roll at the Giants 9.
And the challenge for Arizona's offensive line will be controlling this front right here. And obviously, with Justin Tuck out, it's going to be a little bit easier. But they've got O.C. Umenyiora back. They're going to be rolling some speed guys in there through the course of the day. Their mission is to get cumulative hits on Kevin Kolb during the course of the day.
You had a look at Justin Tuck on the sidelines. 3rd down and 3 for the Cardinals. Kolb moving to his right. Under pressure from Jason Pierre-Paul. He throws it out of bounds.
You heard Tony talk about Kevin Kolb still kind of learning this system. It's very different from what he played at in Philadelphia. And one of the things in Philadelphia you could do was get out on the edge and make some plays. he's got to learn to stay in the pocket. I don't think that there was enough pressure on that rush right there to flush Kevin Kolb out to the right. He's got to get more comfortable staying in there and delivering the ball on time.
So here's the ex-Giant, Jay Feely, who has missed 3 of his 4 field goal opportunities this season. A 27-yard attempt from the left hash. Dave Zastino is the holder. And Feely's kick is straight through. So the Cardinals capitalize following the Giants' turnover, the fumble by Ahmad Bradshaw. Cardinals with a 3-0 lead over Eli Manning and the New York Giants. Cardinals capitalizing following the Ahmad Bradshaw fumble. Jay Feely, 27-yard field goal. And now Feely kicks off to Devin Thomas. Thomas finally scoops it up and is down at the 12. So again, Thomas decides to take it out, does not take a knee. Tackle to the 17 on the opening kickoff, and now the 12-yard line.
Looks like you're having a lot of fun down here on the field, Darryl. A lot of pushing going on with this special teams, balls on the ground. Looks like Arizona Cardinals came to play.
Well, joining the NFL's a crucial catch campaign in the fight against breast cancer. Visit NFL.com/auction to bid now on authentic, game-worn NFL pink products. All proceeds benefit the American Cancer Society. First and 10 from the 12-yard line for the Giants as Bradshaw takes it up the middle.
Well, Ray Horton is the new defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals. He's brought in that Pittsburgh style of defense, so you're going to have to deal with some pressure during the course of the day. Now, they actually scaled back a little bit last week against Seattle, and his players came to Ray and said, hey, you know what? We want to get back to it. You know, trust us. You know, we're going to be able to run your scheme the way you want. So they've got some more blitzes put in there for you this afternoon, Tony.
Second and 9 to toss to Bradshaw with the fullback Hajnowski leading the way. There is a flag as Bradshaw is tackled by Darrell Washington.
Now, one of the differences you will see from Arizona than what you see with Pittsburgh is
formation offense. Number 67 was not lined up on the line of scrimmage.
Number 24, Adrian Wilson, right there.
Third down.
He's a true box safety. He's going to be down there creating that 8th man all afternoon for that Cardinal defense. I don't even think the Giants consider him a safety, Kenny. I think they've just assigned him as a linebacker.
He's had some big games against the Giants through the years. Third down and 9. Play clock at 3. Manning looking for the fullback, Hajnowski, more flags.
Looks like Dockett got mugged over the middle there, guys. Came through real clean and just got grabbed.
Holding, offense, number 76 and number 66. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Take a look right here, number 90, Darnell Dockett coming through the line of scrimmage. Now when he goes, you got to let go of that jersey right there. If you're going to hold on to that, you got 2 officials right behind you. Chris Snead's got to let it go.
Third penalty, Goose, called on the Giants offensive line. And we have not yet played 3.5 minutes. Steve Weatherford standing in his own end zone. Patrick Peterson, the explosive rookie out of LSU, is back deep for the Cardinals. Taken at the 45 by Peterson, and he slips down at the 48. 42-yard punt. Darnell Dockett's fired up. Cardinals lead by 3. Welcome back. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Cardinals out to an early 3-0 lead on the Giants, and terrific starting field position for Arizona.
For the second time.
5-9, 5-9.
Their first possession following the Giants' turnover. From the 48-yard line on first down, the slant to Larry Fitzgerald. We mentioned it is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Larry lost his mother, Carol, to breast cancer in 2003. He is a huge supporter, and this month will donate $1,000 for every catch. He has 2 so far today, and $10,000 for every touchdown.
One of the real class acts in the NFL today, and always a pleasure to have the opportunity to sit down and talk to Larry Fitzgerald.
He told us it is a cause that is near and dear to my heart. On 2nd and 5, beating Wells to the Giants' 44. Wells now the starter. Tim Hightower, a Washington Redskin. Beanie missed last week's game, the loss to Seattle due to a hamstring injury.
And I think it's going to benefit Beanie Wells to be just that featured back as opposed to sharing time with Tim Hightower like he did last year. He seems to me, when you watch him, to be that runner who's going to get stronger as the game goes on. You give him more carries, he gets into a rhythm, gets into a flow. When he's in and out of the lineup, I don't think he's as effective.
Third down and 2. Cardinals must get to the 42. And they do, as the catch is made by Early Doucette, who has had great success on third downs this year. In fact, he leads the league in receiving yards on third down over the first 3 weeks.
And they're starting to build a little bit of chemistry. We've talked about, and you're always going to be worried about Larry Fitzgerald, so you use that to your advantage. You get people to look at him. That frees you up on the outside. And what you see on tape, and the Giants are well aware of this, it seems that Kevin Kolb is actually maybe more comfortable with Early Doucette than any of the guys right now.
Cardinals empty the backfield. 1st and 10 from the Giants' 32. Kolb moving to his right. Chased by Kiwanuka. And he's out of bounds at the 30-yard line.
We talked about how this is different than what Philadelphia does. I just want you to watch the depth of these receivers once they get to the end of their routes. They're all going to be about 5 yards down the field. Now, this is completely different. Stop it right there. Look at the depth of everybody here. Nobody's really pushing it deep. Now, in Philadelphia, you sent everybody deep, and then you had a shallow route built in as your escape if everything was covered down the field. That's one of the adjustments for Kevin Kolb in this system. He's got to learn to get that ball out a little bit quicker. It's more timing-based.
Off the play fake on 2nd and 8. Pressure from Linval Joseph, and Kolb finds his man for a first down. It's LaRod Stevens-Howling, who missed the last 2 games with a hand injury.
But this is one of the things that Kevin's going to bring to the quarterback position, the ability to extend the play and be able to move around. He's very mobile in the pocket. Everybody's covered. He's moving to his right. Good adjustment by L. Stevens-Howling and Andre Roberts, too. Noticing your quarterback is in trouble. He's sliding right. Everybody stops and adjusts.
Gaining 10 with Justin Tuck on the sidelines. Kolb has completed 4 of his first 5 pass attempts. A give to Wells, running left. And he's down at the Giants' 17, a gain of 4.
Now that's the 3rd or 4th guy we've seen slip down here on the field so far. This isn't, natural grass that they're playing on. It's really in good shape. It's not wet or anything. I don't know why these guys are sliding, but they are.
I wonder if it's a firm track, Goose, and the cleats aren't getting in there deep enough, sinking into that sod deep enough.
And the roof is closed. Temperatures in the 90s all week here in the Valley of the Sun. 2nd down and 6. Wells unable to make the catch.
That's unfortunate right there. A nice opportunity. They had a good play called into this. There's a blitz coming in. You see Antrell roll in there, pressuring the quarterback on the backfield. If you can get one hand on it, you can get 2 hands on it. Don't assume you're going to make that catch. Get 2 hands on it, lock your eyes on it, make the catch first.
He's lucky there wasn't somebody on him quicker that would have got that as an interception right there. Bring it in.
5-9, 5-9. Alert, Levi, alert.
Kolb on 3rd and 6, hit from behind by Umenyiora. The ball is loose, and it is recovered by Jaquan Williams of the Giants.
We talked about Arizona matching the speed of the Giants' defensive front. OCU Manura beats Levi Brown right off the snap. Around the horn.
Kevin Kolb coughs it up. OCU Manura in his 2011 debut did not play during the preseason with the sack and the forced fumble.
Some fresh legs there, Goose.
Absolutely.
Now Manning on first down. Pass is caught and taken out to the 16-yard line by DJ Ware.
Watch this first step. I mean, he just beats him immediately. Now, Beanie Wells slides inside. He has to realize that Levi Brown is going up against one of the best speed rushers in the NFL. If your guy's not coming in protection, then you should release to the outside. Give OCU Manura a little shoulder as you go by that little chip block. That's going to help Levi Brown out a ton.
You hit it right on the head there, Darryl, with him coming off the ball. He was off the ball before anybody.
Giants send in Stacey Andrews as an extra blocker. The toss to Brandon Jacobs. And Jacobs gains 2 up to the 18-yard line. Paris Lennon the tackle. So 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Giants.
And this is where the Giants are going to need to run the ball. They're going to need to get onto the edges. The guys up front in this Arizona defense, Clay Campbell, 6'8", 300. Dan Williams, the nose tackle, 6'3", 327. His backup is David Carter, 6'5", 300. Darnell Dawkins, the smallest, at 6'4", 290. They are big up front. It's going to be tough running between the tackles.
3 wide receivers set, 3rd down and 6. Manning fires and the catch is made for a first down by Hakeem Nicks out to the 26-yard line.
Now watch Eli Manning in the pocket. We talked about Kevin Kolb maybe getting out of there too soon. Watch how Eli hangs in here. It's only 4 guys coming, but the pocket's starting to collapse. Step up slide right in the face of everything. You deliver that pass for the first down. Nice job by Eli.
From the 25-yard line, Brandon Jacobs. Jacobs gains 7 out to the 32. Well, Eli Manning returning to Glendale. He was the MVP of Super Bowl 42 in this stadium. And when you look back over his 8-year career during the regular season, how symmetrical is this? 53 starts at home, 53 on the road, an identical record, and an identical number of touchdown passes.
You want consistency at the quarterback position, but I don't think anybody expects something like that. I mean, that's an amazing stat to be completely balanced.
Here's Manning on 2nd and 3. Brandon Jacobs, and he's tackled from behind at the 32-yard line by rookie out of UCLA, David Carter.
David Carter does a great job of going rushing the passer, realizing that they're setting up that screen, which the Giants are notorious for, and coming back out and making that play. If he doesn't go and make that play right there on Brandon Jacobs, he might still be running.
Inside handoff to Bradshaw on 3rd down, and Bradshaw picks up the first. He needed 3, and he gains 5.
And this is something the Arizona Cardinals knew. They know on 3rd down that the Giants are a big run team. They're going to pull and run power. Here comes Chris Nee, Travis Beckham leading. They don't even get Chris Nee out front. He gets tripped up on the way there. But Arizona knows that if they're in a manageable 3rd down situation against the Giants, they are not afraid to run that power game, pull some linemen, try and kick it out on the edge, and then also the screens.
So a new set of downs for the Giants from their own 37. Empty backfield. Manning over the middle. Pass was intended for Diggs and was deflected a couple of times. Patrick Peterson on the coverage.
Patrick Peterson is going to be a future NFL star. Watch number 21. You have to have confidence to play the corner position. Trust your instincts. He's got great athleticism to begin with. Breakaway speed. He's a big physical guy, but he has so much confidence. Ray Horton told us, you know, you don't expect to see guys who are young coming into the NFL with as much confidence as Patrick has.
He won the Bednarik Award last year, top defensive player in the nation at LSU. On 2nd and 10, it's Jacobs. A loss of a yard.
And there's your other budding star for the Arizona Cardinals, Darrell Washington, the inside linebacker. He's going to be a perfect fit in this defense. Big, physical inside, can stand up to the run, can have guards coming up to block him, but great speed, great athleticism. He'll be a great blitzer in Ray Horton's scheme.
Second season out of TCU, 3rd and 11. Giants must get to the 47. Manning throws, and Nix blanketed by Patrick Peterson.
He's going to be good, and I think that makes him more special is what he's getting to do right now, go back and field punch. You see right there, just the jump jam. I mean, very physical with Akeem Nix.
Peterson in his NFL debut against Carolina 3 weeks ago. Returned to punt 89 yards for a touchdown. Weatherford punting from his own 33-yard line. Good hang time, angled towards the sidelines.
Great kick.
Giants kept it away from Deshaun Jackson last week, and they do not give Peterson an opportunity. 51-yard punt. Larry Fitzgerald and the Cardinals offense closer to the World Series. Fox's coverage of baseball's postseason begins Saturday with Game 1 of the American League Championship Series at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, only on Fox. Cardinals start from their own 12-yard line following the 51-yard punt, and Wells, hard to bring down, takes it all the way to the 19, a gain of 7.
Defensive coordinator Perry Fuel for the Giants was not happy with how his team tackled last week, and it was a different kind of runner. That was LaShawn McCoy, very shifty, one of the best, and Tony said last week, if not the best running back in the NFL in his opinion. Today it's a different guy. Beanie's going to be more downhill, more physical, just a one-cut guy, and he's going to start hitting it north and south.
On 2nd and 3, the handoff to Wells once again, cuts to the outside and then slips, but did not go down. Now he is down at the 24.
I was going to say that was pretty impressive if he was able to keep his knee off the ground on that cut.
Let's take a look.
And they go again, sliding out a little bit, Goose. You know what? I don't know if he was ever down. His butt get down there.
Ball comes out though.
Well, the ball has been spotted back at the 21, so he was ruled down. So the Cardinals now face a 3rd down and 1.
Big 94. Lock it, lock it, lock it.
Kolb on 3rd down to Fitzgerald. 3rd count of the day for Fitzgerald. Corey Webster on the coverage, and the Cardinals move the chains.
When you've got these great edge rushers coming off the outside against the Giants, you got to give them some different looks. Right there, they motion Todd Heap in, bring him back out, and he's gonna get in the way of Jason Pierre-Paul. He's gonna make him think. You do some different things so they just can't line up every snap and know that they can come upfield. Bring a guy in motion and crack him. Do some different things to get them thinking during the course of the game.
Yo!
1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Inside handoff to Wells. And Wells gains 7 down to the 36. As time winds down in this first quarter, each team committing a turnover. The Ahmad Bradshaw fumble led to Jay Feely's 27-yard field goal. The only points of this first quarter. Giants could not capitalize on the O.C. Umenyiora sack and forced fumble. So 15 minutes in the books. Fox NFL Sunday will continue after these. Arizona Cardinals for the record of 1-2, leading the 2-1 Giants 3-0 as we start the second quarter. Justin Tuck on the sideline. 2nd down and 3 for the Cardinals. from their own 36-yard line. Beanie Wells up the middle. Out across the 40 to the 41 for an Arizona first down. Some tremendous games earlier, Darryl.
Oh, Devin Hester continues to do it. I mean, just an unbelievable returner, big thing there. And you've got him matched up with Cam Newton. 374. Again, Cam Newton is just, he is completely blown away my expectations as the rookie quarterback coming in. And the Dallas Cowboys, boy, they were up 27-3 at one point, and Tony Romo just tore it up in the first half, had a real tough second half, 14 points in interception returns for that Detroit defense getting back in the game.
From the 41-yard line, Cobb steps up and fires off the hand of Fitzgerald. Time for a game break as we head to Los Angeles. Here's Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Well, how about those Detroit Lions? They came back from 27-3 down in the third quarter to beat the Cowboys. Calvin Johnson's second touchdown of the game with a minute and a half to go. Won it 34-30. Lions unbeaten at 4-0. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Incredible. Thanks, Kurt.
That's 2 weeks, and I came back from a big deficit last week.
Good.
You get in that situation, you can't have Calvin Johnson out there one-on-one. He's already got a height advantage over Terrence Newman.
I got it. I'm going.
Second down at 10. Here's Beanie Wells. Chris Canty on the tackle from behind. Calvin Johnson, one of the guys who Larry Fitzgerald spends a lot of time watching film of both Calvin Johnson and Andre Johnson of the Houston Texans.
It was very interesting when he told us, you know, I want to see how these guys are defended. I want to see what the offensive coaches are doing to try and get them open, because it's kind of similar to what Larry is. I mean, you come in here against Arizona and you want to take away Larry Fitzgerald. When you play Detroit, you're going to do everything you can to stop Calvin Johnson. When you're against Houston, you're going to do everything you can not to let Andre Johnson beat you. So he studies them to see how they handle those situations.
Empty backfield, third down and 6. And Cobb's pass is caught by Early Doucette. It's his second catch on third down today, and his second first down.
And then just that timing right now, very efficient with Kevin Kolb. He's going to come back, and again, you put Larry Fitzgerald out there, get everybody focused on him. Little whip route, go to the inside, break back to the outside. Brian Williams waiting on that crossing route, can't get back outside in coverage, but that ball came out on time.
So the Cardinals cross midfield, first and 10 from the Giants' 45. Cobb has hit on 6 of his first 9.
188.
Off the play fake. Cobb chased by Boley and Umanura, and he throws it away, and there is a flag after Cobb took a late hit.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 95. Helmet-to-helmet contact on the quarterback, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Rocky Bernard.
Now watch 59, Michael Boley here, he comes off the edge. They've got 2 guys there to pick him up, but they get mixed up in their protection.
Rocky Bernard got to keep his helmet up. I think they called it because watch how he drops his helmet. I don't know if he hit him that hard, but
that's a good learning experience right there, though, Goose. You drop it around to your helmet, even if you don't make contact, you got a good shot of getting a flag on that.
So following the penalty, new set of downs from the Giants' 30. Beanie Wells, another flag. Wells stays on his feet and is finally tackled at the 13-yard line, and we will check in with the referee, Jerome Boger, once again after Wells gained 12.
Holding, offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
That's Levi Brown on the holding call. He's arguing with it right now. And that, boy, is this blocked well. Levi's right here. Derek College comes out on the kick out. Look at that lane they create.
you know me, I don't like sticking up for offenses, but I didn't see anything Levi Brown did wrong.
No, everybody was on their feet.
A good block, yeah.
He's still shaking his head.
First Cardinals penalty. First and 20, back at the 40-yard line. Cobb looks left, and he throws. It's the fullback out of UConn, Anthony Sherman. And Sherman gains 5 down to the 35-yard line.
This guy, you watch him on film, and I'm impressed with his pad level and the way he strikes on the blocks. So it's going to be fun to watch his rookie year develop as the season goes on. But as a fullback, when you get into the hole and you're the lead blocker, you can't have stalemates. It's how it goes to the defense. And Anthony does a really good job having his pad level down, rolling his hips, and he's able to create some movement in the tight quarters inside between the tackles.
5th-round pick by the Cardinals out of the University of Connecticut. 10th play of this drive for Arizona. 2nd down at 15. Cobb steps up and then is wrapped up by Jason Pierre-Paul and Dave Tollefson.
Darryl, you talked about it earlier. Kevin Kolb needs to go and have a little bit more patience in that pocket. There was not a lot of pressure on him at all. He's sitting in the pocket. Watch right here. He's back. All right, just step up a little bit. That offensive line is doing a great job of protecting. There's no reason to go and panic there and run. Just going to make it easier for that defensive line and run right to him, and that's exactly what happened.
Second sack for the Giants today. Now 3rd down and 17.
I got 94, 3 down.
Cardinals must get to the 20-yard line. Cobb looking. Now he fires. Just short, despite the good second effort. The tight end, the rookie out of Florida Atlantic, Rob Hausler, after gaining 16, is tackled a yard shy of the marker.
Another way you miss tackles is your angles to the play. And just 2 terrible angles by the secondary of the Arizona Cardinals. Kevin Kolb this time moves around, but he stays back in the pocket. But watch the angles coming up to make this tackle. Both players on the outside. That allows Rob Hausler to get back inside.
His first NFL catch. Now the Cardinals on 4th and 1. Giants made a big stop on 4th and 1 last week in Philadelphia. Cobb the slant. Fitzgerald. First down, Arizona.
Well, you see the poor angles by the 2 defenders for the Giants on that previous play allows Arizona to think about going for this 4th and 1. And let me tell you what, if you play off of Larry Fitzgerald and give him space, he's going to beat you. Antrell Roll recognizes it, ex-teammate tries to slide over and close that area. Great body position by Larry Fitzgerald.
From the 17-yard line on 1st down, Beanie Wells inside the 10. Down to the Giants' 8-yard line. Greg Jones finally made the tackle.
Well, they found something on the left side of this offensive line. That's the 2nd time we've seen this play hit for some big yards.
Keep an eye on College right here. Darren College does a great job of pulling outside to the left-hand side. See him right here, the big man comes out. It's not easy. Wells does a great job of following him to the outside and getting some good yardage on that play.
Second down and 1. Cobb looks right. Stays on his feet. And then throws it out of bounds.
You want to see a smart play? No. But did you see the lineman came back and broke the grasp that he had on Kevin Kolb?
That's called the chop.
Yeah, watch at the end of this. See which guy it is that has a handful of them. It's Chris Canny. He's got him right there. Now watch Brandon Keith goes between and breaks the grip, and that frees up Kevin Kolb to get outside the pocket and throw it away.
Eli Manning knows a thing or two about breaking the grasp in this stadium. This will be the 15th play of the drive for the Cardinals. 3rd down and 1. And Wells is forced back by Matthias Kiwanuka.
We talk about building a wall as a defense. Matthias Kiwanuka, he was not being moved. He had all kinds of bodies coming at him. He just stood everybody up.
This time, Ken Wisenhunt will send out the field goal unit. Third trip inside the red zone for the Cardinals. Held to a field goal. He turned it over on the Umanura sack of Cobb, and now another field goal attempt from 27 yards out from the left hash. Feely hit from 27 earlier. And And the former New York Giant extends the Arizona lead to 6-0.
Little discussion going on over there on the sideline. Again, they're still trying to get on the same page. This is Kevin Kolb's first year in this system. It's very different than what he was doing in Philadelphia. And Ken Wisenhunt actually told us, you know, hey, listen, we're asking him to do a whole lot more than he's ever done before as a quarterback in the NFL.
Phillies kickoff taken out once again by Thomas. His first time across the 20. And he plows into Feely out to the 31-yard line. So good field position.
Taste greatness.
Best starting field position of the day for the Giants. Their own 31-yard line. Giants only 32 yards on offense, 2 first downs. Their first 3 drives, a turnover and 2 punts. Manning on first down. This is Victor Cruz, one of the heroes last week, and he breaks another tackle, as we saw him do a couple of times against Philadelphia when he scored 2 touchdowns.
What a breakout game by Victor Cruz last week, and here he comes again. You should be expecting that. That's a great move back to the inside, some quick feet, gets A.J. Jefferson spun around.
Victor Cruz said after the game last Sunday, I thanked Eli following the game for having confidence in me. Cruz gained 13. Now he goes in motion. From the 44-yard line, the handoff to number 44, Ahmad Bradshaw. And he's bottled up after a gain of just 1 by Darrell Washington.
Well, you saw the opening kickoff, and take a look at Jay Feely right here, number 3. Pow! You know, Jay was mixing it up a little bit earlier when the Giants were on the field, and I'll tell you what, he didn't look like much of a tackler out there, Darrell.
He might have hit Devin Thomas with his foot when he was falling back.
He got him down, though.
The Phillies had the 05 and 06 seasons with the Giants. Now 2nd down and 9. Manning to Bradshaw out of the backfield. He's across midfield. Giants into Cardinals territory for the first time today.
Devin Thomas still getting worked on over there on the sideline. Jake Feely must have got him somehow.
Yeah, and Feely's on the other side. He's just, you know, hanging out. Yeah, look at them arms. He's all jacked up, too, Dave. He did a couple curls before this game, ready for the Giants, his old team.
Third down and 1 for the Giants. Bradshaw. First down.
That's good tough running right there.
He keeps them legs moving and just drives the pile and pops out right through it.
That's the most important thing where you're a 3rd and short runner is just trust everything up front. You don't have a lot of time to make any moves. You've got to stay north and south, get your head down. Patrick Peterson try and squeeze that corner. If he stays up on his feet and doesn't go down and try and take Henry Hynoski out, then you squeeze that hole down in a little bit more and put some more pressure on him on Bradshaw to turn it up even sooner.
From the 43, it's Bradshaw again. He loses a yard. Dan Williams breaking through along with Paris Lennon to bring down Bradshaw.
Dan Williams was in the backfield, I think, before he even got the ball there. Let's take a look at him right here. There he is, number 92, right here, top of your screen. He just comes right in and meets Ahmad Bradshaw right in the backfield.
First-round pick Goose last year out of Tennessee. Bradshaw only 10 yards on 6 carries today. 2nd down and 11. Manning to Hakeem Nicks, who makes a spectacular catch for a Giants first down.
That back shoulder throw, Darrell, I don't know how you stop it.
I don't either. And when you have some chemistry built between a quarterback and a wide receiver, and we see it all across the NFL, and I agree with you, Tony. I just don't know what you do. A.J. Jefferson is in good position, but when you have that ability and that timing between a quarterback and a wide receiver, it's just so hard to defend.
14-yard reception, 3rd catch for Nicks. From the Arizona 30. Manning looking for Nix once again, and this time it is broken up by Jefferson.
Don't want to go to the well too often, though.
Jefferson did a nice job of getting his head back around and punching that pocket to get the ball out. Tell you what, learned a little something on the play before and came back and knew they might try it again and did a great job on that play.
It's one of the most important things, Tony, is to be able to get that head around, and for the rest of the defense to be able to communicate and yell ball when that ball comes off of Eli's hand, so you can get your head around and try and find it.
Well, I know it sets you up a little bit for that double move sometimes.
Second and 10. Quick out to Nix. And Nix broke a couple of tackles. Remained in bounds and picks up a Giants first down at the Cardinals 18.
The tackling has still not improved yet, you know, across the league. I mean, you've got Hakeem Nicks out there, come to balance. I mean, that's poor on two guys. Then Clark Haggans is throwing a little bit too soon. And
he just stops his feet right here. Watch his feet. He just stops. Instead of going and running through the receiver right there to make a tackle, you got to know that your help is back to the inside. Worst comes to worst, go for that outside shoulder and make him come back inside while your help is.
From the Arizona 18, here's Bradshaw. Bradshaw gains 5 down to the 13. This is the Giants' first trip into the red zone today. Incredibly, in their win last week, they scored 29 points. They only ran 3 plays from inside what Tom Coughlin refers to as the green zone, the money zone, because 3 of their 4 touchdowns came from outside the 20.
Yeah, they were very explosive last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Some great play design by Kevin Gilbride. Brandon Jacobs had a big touchdown catch. Victor Cruz, a great individual effort.
You guys were both very impressed with Gilbride's calls last week.
I thought it was outstanding. You know, a limited roster at the wide receiver position, and he didn't get conservative. He played aggressive football and went after Philadelphia.
Andrews in as an extra blocker. Second down and 5. Here's Bradshaw inside the 10, the 5, touchdown.
Somebody had to be able to seal those linebackers off from the inside, Tony, because they've been running to the ball all afternoon. But that was as well a block play as we've seen from this Giant run game in a while.
Just a helmet on a helmet.
Just had nobody coming from inside out. Stacey Andrews does a great job of getting that reach block to give him on Bradshaw the corner. A.J. Jefferson's got to come up and force that a little bit more. He gave himself up a little bit too easily.
Lawrence Tynes adds the extra point. 3rd touchdown of the season for Ahmad Bradshaw. The Giants lead by 1.
Well, let's take a look at this touchdown run right here. Stacey Andrews right here, okay, goes and blocks. Watch how many guys he blocks. He's got Clark Haggans. He drives him back. Now look, he cuts off the linebackers. Paris Lennon, David Carter. I mean, that's a great lane right there for Bradshaw just to go and run right into the end zone. But he should come back and go and give Stacey Andrews a big hug for that touchdown.
Bradshaw, 22 yards on the ground during that drive, 13-yard touchdown run. And now A.J. Jefferson takes it out from 6 yards deep in the end zone, and he is stopped shy of the 20 by Tyler Sash. Giants lead thanks to Ahmad Bradshaw. It's now 7-6, the must-see live event you can only catch on Fox. Dos Santos and Velasquez for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World, Saturday, November 12th, right here on Fox. Here's Beanie Wells on the first down handoff from Kevin Kolb, and Wells takes it out to the 23, gain of 5.
Well, that was a great response by that Giant offense to get down there and take the lead right now. The Arizona Cardinals have wasted some opportunities here in the first half. Have been down in that red zone several times and only got 6 points out of it. And now all of a sudden there's Kevin Gilbride sitting down on the sideline at 7-6. After they kind of came out a little bit flat, took them a while to get going and match that emotion of the Cardinals.
3 red zone trips for Arizona. 2 field goals, 1 turnover. Second down and 5. Kolb under pressure from Canty. There is a flag as Kolb throws it out of bounds.
Darren College even got a little bit of help from his running back on this one.
Holding, offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty, replay, second down.
Now, he gets a little bit of a chip to try and get back onto Chris Canty, but he's never able to. You watch 71 as he kicks out. There's Chris Canty. There's a little bit of help right there. Now you got to move your feet. You got to get in front of him. He's never able to adjust back in front of him, and Chris Canty just keeps working up the field.
Aaron College, who spent the last 5 seasons as a member of the Green Bay Packers. Now second down and 15.
Bring it over, bring it over.
Kolb under pressure, and down he goes back at the 5-yard line. Second sack today for Dave Tollefson.
There's a guy with a motor right there, Dave Tollefson. He does not stop, Darryl.
No.
He just keeps coming. You can knock him down. He gets up off the ground. He just keeps coming. Take a look at him here.
So Deuce with Tuck on the sidelines. Umenyiora with a sack, forced fumble, and now Tollefson with a pair.
By the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Following the 2-minute warning here in Glendale, Arizona.
I got him.
Third down and 23 for the Cardinals. Everybody out. And Cobb's pass is incomplete. He was looking for early Doucette, so the Cardinals forced to punt it away. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy from our studios in Los Angeles. The Lions 4-0 for the first time since 1980. Huge comeback win in Dallas. And how about the Philadelphia Eagles, the so-called dream team, now 1-3 following their loss at home to the 49ers.
Some crazy games earlier today.
Good news for the Giants with both Cowboys and the Eagles losing today. The Redskins won their game over St. Louis. Washington now 3-1 as Aaron Ross is down at the 44-yard line by Michael Adams. So terrific field position for the Giants, who lead by a point.
Central on Fox.
Giants with all 3 of their timeouts. A minute 49 remaining. Second quarter. Giants lead the Cardinals 7-6. Here's Ahmad Bradshaw, who has the Giants touchdown. Takes it out to the 48-yard line. Gain of 3.
Just an ebb and flow here in this first half. Arizona came out with lots of opportunities early in the game, not able to take advantage of it. Giants kind of weather that storm. They've got an opportunity to add to their lead here in this 2-minute situation.
Second down and 7. Manning looking for Hakeem Nicks. 3rd and 7 upcoming for the Giants.
Got to make that throw. That's one that you'd expect Eli and Hakeem to be able to connect on.
Nicks has 4 catches today. Bradshaw, the Giants' leading rusher. Manning 9 of 15. Cruz in motion. Giants must get to the Cardinals 46. And Kerry Rhodes calls an Arizona timeout.
First timeout, New York.
Well, the Giants called timeout before Rhodes was able to get his request into the officials.
Yeah, Eli beat him to the punch.
Well, tomorrow night, the new season of House begins with television's most brilliant doctor in lockup for his biggest mistake. But will hard times turn House around? Don't miss an unforgettable season premiere event, House, tomorrow night at 8, 7 Central on Fox. So the Giants charged with the timeout, as you can see on our Fox box. Giants with 2 timeouts remaining. Cardinals have all 3 of theirs. 3rd down and 7. Good block by Bradshaw, allowing Manning to throw, but it's well over the head of Victor Cruz.
Better than a good block, a great block. And a lot of times when we talk about running backs, we just think about them as rushers and receivers out of the backfield. Watch Ahmad Bradshaw just stone Darrell Washington, number 44. Textbook. I mean, absolutely textbook. And when you get that kind of protection, you got to take advantage of this. Mario Manningham goes into the center of the field. Eli throws it out towards the sideline.
Weatherford punting as we approach 1 minute remaining. Peterson lets it go, and it takes the Cardinals bounce into the end zone. So Arizona with 68 seconds on the clock and 3 timeouts will start from their own 20.
It's been a bizarre first half. Calais Campbell on the big hit on Ahmad Bradshaw gives great field position to Arizona. Then the next time they're driving, the Giants do the same. Osi Umenyiora with the fumble there forces Kevin Kolb to put that ball on the turf. Then the Giants come back kind of floundering around here the whole first half. But the drive prior to the one they just had, able to get Ahmad Bradshaw in there to take the 7-6 lead here.
So now Kevin Kolb and the Cardinals go to work from their own 20-yard line with all 3 timeouts. 3 wide receivers set. Kolb on first down, intended for Ducetto, is broken up by Corey Webster, his former teammate at LSU.
Osi Umenyiora continuing to work that speed rush up the field. They bring Antrell Roll underneath. Good job there by Levi Brown that time, just getting into position, pushing him back. And look at Corey Webster. Watch him come over the top, 23. Instead of coming through the back and taking a chance of getting the PI, shows his athleticism, comes right over the top to make that deflection.
I don't know, they better cover Larry Fitzgerald because he was running scot-free right over the top of that.
Second down and 10. 3 straight incompletions for Kolb. He hands it off to Wells. And Wells is out to the 29. A gain of 9.
Yeah, a little sense of urgency for this Cardinals offense. 50 seconds counting down.
Again, Wisenhunt still has all of his timeouts. Kolb being chased by Tollefson. And he throws it away. Dave Tollefson already with 2 sacks today. His first career 2-sack game. Kolb threw it away on 3rd and 1. And Cardinals forced to punt.
One of the things, you know, maybe there wasn't that sense of urgency there, Goose, is because of the down and distance on that. But I just, you know, I don't understand it. I mean, call something where you're going to get the first down. You've got all 3 timeouts left. Even if you wanted to run the ball, Beanie Wells has been doing a great job running the football.
Well, how about just throwing the ball up to Larry Fitz? I mean, let him take a shot down the field. It can hurt you.
Zastudil punting from his own 20. Terrific kick. Ross takes it at the 15-yard line. Aaron Ross to the 27. 12 yards on the return. 56-yard punt.
Well, we talked about it in the open about the pressure that this Giants defense needs to come. You see Osi Umenyiora getting in there. Dave Tollefson going and getting 2 sacks today. They are bringing the pressure right up in Kolb's face also, making him scramble to the outside. He's not setting his feet, and he's not being able to throw the ball downfield. That's why the Giants right now are winning 7-6.
And the Giants, Goose, with 2 timeouts, 29 seconds remaining, start from their own 27. Manning with loads of time on first down. He throws, and the catch is made out at the 49 by Hakeem Nicks. 22-yard pass play. Giants stop the clock. They use their second timeout with 20 seconds remaining.
Tell you what, the protection of that offensive line of the New York Giants. Eli Manning, he just sits there. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I mean, he has all day to go and find a receiver. He's scanning the whole backfield right there and winds up finding Cruz. I mean, Nicks.
5th reception for Nicks today, Goose. Giants need to go about 15, 18 more yards to get into field goal range for times. They have 1 timeout remaining. Manning again with time. To the outside, and the catch is made by Cruz. Now there is a flag back at the 47-yard line. Cruz takes it down to the 25, a 26-yard pass play.
One of the Giants saying it's on Arizona. Here's Victor Cruz right here. He just gets lost.
Foul. Grabbing the face mask. Defense, number 55. Half the distance to the goal. Automatic First down.
It's a face mask on Joey Porter.
What a crazy change of events right here. The Cardinals sitting in 3rd and short in a 2-minute situation. Have it incomplete, kick it to the Giants, and here they come right down the field again. We're thinking maybe an opportunity to get a field goal, but now they're knocking on the door for a touchdown.
A 26-yard reception by Cruz, and then tack on 15 more due to the face mask on Porter.
After the 22-yarder to Nix. I mean, just 2 huge pass plays and a big penalty.
Well, 26 yards and then half the distance. Here's Manning on first down. Giants still with a timeout to the end zone. Good coverage by Peterson on Hakeem Nicks.
One of the things you'll see with Patrick Peterson is he's got the ability to have his eyes on the receiver and then back to the quarterback. Look at how he gets his head around right there. He is wise beyond his years right now at the cornerback position.
Nine seconds on the clock. Giants still have a timeout. Off the hands of Bradshaw. 5 seconds remaining. And now Tom Coughlin will send out Lawrence Tynes and the field goal unit.
They're right inside that comfort zone of being able to take a shot into the corner. It's about 6 seconds. So at 5, if anything happens, you get a bad snap, bobbled snap, anything where it's delayed, you're right on that verge of trying to squeeze one more play in, but then forfeiting the opportunity to kick the field goal. So I like the decision here by Tom Coughlin.
It also helps those defensive backs knowing that ball's going to come out faster. You can play a little tighter.
Uh-oh.
Flags as Tynes connects from 30 yards out.
Lawrence Tynes looks like he's hit or hurt.
That was only Tynes' second field goal attempt of the season. He had his first blocked in Washington week 1. Did not attempt a field goal the last 2 weeks.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Offside, defense number 21. That penalty is declined. Personal foul, roughing the kicker. Defense number 21. Half the distance of the goal. Automatic first down.
And this is the big dilemma right now. Do you take points off the board? Interesting to see what the Giants are going to do. So Patrick Peterson first, he's offsides, and then second makes contact with Lawrence Tynes. At least Lawrence didn't have his foot planted. The best thing about this right now is watch. He's kind of elevated with his foot up. His legs come out from underneath him. So when Patrick Peterson makes contact, he didn't have anything in the ground where he could have got hurt, and he knows right there. Because you've got a block point. When you're one of these guys that come off the edge, you've got a block point, and he knew right there he exceeded it.
It's Tom Quinn, special teams coach, on the left. Tom Coughlin chatting with the officials. The kick was good if Coughlin decides to take the points.
We have a correction on the penalty enforcement. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The field goal is good.
There we go.
All right, so Coughlin keeps the points up on the board with 1 second remaining in this first half. Giants now lead 10-6.
Excuse me, but who told you that I wanted to accept that penalty? We'll be assessing that on the kickoff, please.
Absolutely.
So the Giants will kick off with 1 second on the clock. Visa halftime report is coming up with Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Some big comebacks earlier. Lions over the Cowboys 34-30. 49ers beat the Eagles in come from behind fashion 24-23. A wild one in Chicago. Cam Newton throws for 300 yards for the 3rd time in 4 games, but Panthers fall short by 5 points to the Bears. Here in Glendale, Giants leading the Cardinals 10-6. Giants with a win today would go into a tie for first in the NFC East with the 3-1 Washington Redskins.
think he was trying to kick it into your little field booth down there, Goose. He's trying to damage your equipment.
I'm surprised they didn't go, and
you didn't turn your back, did you? You were protecting it, right?
I was over near the goalpost. Good thing. Came right at me there.
Great to see the Tides is okay.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I mean, they've already got issues with Zach Diassi, he's got a chronic bad back that flares up from time to time, and it flared up this week. And then to have your long snapper go down and then have your kicker get injured during the game.
And Diassi did snap on that field goal. Kolb will take it in. That will do it for the first half here in Glendale, Arizona. Eli Manning and the New York Giants out to a 10-6 lead. Dave Tollefson with 2 of the 3 Giant sacks of Kevin Kolb. Osi Umenyiora had the other, forced a fumble. Jason Pierre-Paul and Jeremy Bridges exchanging pleasantries.
It's been that type of game. We started off the opening kickoff. We had a little bit of pushing and shoving going on at the end of that, and we finish up the half with the same thing as we head into the locker room.
Carried over from the Giants-Eagles game last week.
Absolutely, but it's been a first half of missed opportunities for Arizona. The only touchdown we have here in the first half, the touchdown run by Ahmad Bradshaw to give the Giants the 7-6 lead at halftime. But the Arizona Cardinals, great field position at the beginning of this game, and they were only able to generate 6 points from that.
Cardinals into the red zone 3 times. A pair of field goals and a turnover. Giants with that touchdown from Bradshaw, and then a 30-yard field goal from Tyne. So the Giants lead 10-6. Visa halftime report is next. We get set for the second half here in Glendale, Arizona. Giants lead the Cardinals 10-6. As the Giants look to win their 3rd in a row. Cardinals have lost their last 2. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. So Lawrence Tynes looks to be all right. Took the hit from Patrick Peterson when he connected on a field goal at the end of the first half. And then kicked off, and now we'll do it again with A.J. Jefferson back deep for the Cardinals. Taken 2 yards deep by Jefferson. Jefferson out to the 27-yard line, 29 yards on the return. So the Cardinals with pretty good field position to start the second half. Darryl, Giants 10 points in the second quarter to take the lead. Arizona finds themselves in yet another close game.
Yeah, exactly. This is just the way the season has gone for the Arizona Cardinals. Week 1, they were able to find a way to win against Carolina, but the last 2 weeks, opportunities to win the game with the ball in their hand late in the game and haven't been able to do that. So they're heading down that path again. Have they learned anything from the past 2 weeks? They're at home this week at least, where they were when they beat Carolina. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. But a lot of missed opportunities by Arizona in that first half. Shouldn't be this close, really. They should have a little bit of a lead right here, but because they were not very good in the red zone 3 times in, no touchdowns, just 2 field goals.
And a turnover as well. Cardinals were flagged for delay. So penalty marked off, and Arizona will start from their own 22-yard line. Meaning Wells, 12 carries, 54 yards in the first half. As Wells on first down, out to the 25. Ball came loose. Question is, was Wells down? Andre Roberts on the recovery.
I did not hear a whistle, and you can tell by the spot of the ball it was at the recovery, so it looks like that was a live ball.
And the Cardinals will actually gain 2 yards thanks to the fumble.
Take a look at the end of the run right here.
Second down and 5. Over the middle to Fitzgerald. The Cardinals first down out to the 34-yard line. 5th catch of the game for Larry Fitzgerald.
Kevin Kolb does a great job of being patient in the pocket, not scrambling around. He had both of his feet pretty much planted in the ground when he threw that ball to find Larry Fitz over the middle. good start here for Kolb. That's another thing. They need to get Larry Fitz a little bit more involved, Daryl. Not really respecting him that much outside. You see him one-on-one on top of the screen.
Kolb Goose 9 of 16 in the first half. Fitzgerald 5 receptions, only 32 yards. Penalty flag in the secondary. That pass was intended for Wells out of the backfield.
Holding. Defense, number 31. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Aaron Ross, who had 2 interceptions in Philadelphia last week.
Yeah, Goose, you don't get many opportunities when you have Larry Fitzgerald in that true one-on-one situation. And, you know, we talked to Kevin Kolb about it. And, you know, would there be, you know, opportunities for you to just say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to get this a whole lot during the course of this game. I'm just going to take a shot out there and see if he can do something.
I think you're absolutely right, but, you know, and we know that Kevin Kolb is just starting to understand this offense, but if you saw that last play, Kolb had Larry to his right-hand side, and since after he snapped the ball, all he did was look to his left, so he has to have a little bit more vision downfield to find it. And here he is down here at the bottom. Looks like he's one-on-one again.
Simultaneous circles for Moose and Goose. Good job.
Both thinking at the same spot there, Kenny.
Synchronized circle. 80 Wells out to the 42. 8 of 3.
Jimmy Johnson talked about it, you know, at the halftime show. Just the addition of Beanie Wells back in here, I think it has made a big difference. And even the Giants said, you know, now they've got that dual threat now. You know, they can throw the ball with Kevin Kolb and Larry Fitzgerald and Early Doucette and Andre Roberts and everybody they've got there. But, you know, having him back there, you know, we can't just commit to getting to the pass. We've got to respect that running game.
Kolb on 2nd and 7. Fires downfield for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald goes up and makes the catch. He wrestled it away from Deion Grant. And with that catch, Fitzgerald sets a franchise record for career receiving yards, a 48-yard pass play.
They've got him double covered, but it's Larry Fitzgerald, and we see it time and time again. The ball is closer to Deion Grant than it is to Larry Fitzgerald. He goes up and just takes it right away from him. And how many times have we seen, Goose, where he's been covered, but he still comes down with that ball?
Absolutely. If it's a simultaneous catch, it goes to him anyway.
From the 11, Beanie Wells. I mentioned with that reception, Fitzgerald sets a franchise record. Roy Green had held the franchise record for most career receiving yards. Green spent 9 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals, 3 here in Arizona, and now Fitzgerald atop the list.
Let's take a look at this at the very end and see if he was able to maintain possession all the way through. Now he's going to take it from Deion Grant.
Yeah, he's got it, and Deion Grant and punches it so it almost touches the turf, but Larry had that one.
Rocky Bernard, the injured Giant.
Favorite pizza, your favorites, your Pizza Hut. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Larry Fitzgerald, 6 catches today. That means $6,000 to breast cancer awareness and a new franchise record.
And I think that's one of the things that Kevin Kolb will discover. We saw it last week in Seattle, a similar situation. You throw it up to him in double coverage. He's either going to catch it or he's going to make it an incomplete.
Fitzgerald lined up in the slot, 2nd down and 7. Kolb to Fitzgerald.
That's a situation right there, and Kevin Kolb will become better with that. You pointed out, Kenny, he's coming out of the slot. He broke clean right away. If Kevin Kolb could have got it to him quicker, it was an opportunity for him to square his shoulders and get to the end zone without anybody blocking his path.
Ball is spotted inside the 1, so Fitzgerald did pick up the 1st down. 1st and goal from the 1. Tight end Todd Heap lined up as the fullback in front of Beanie Wells. 2 fullbacks, Sherman and Heap. And now Heap Split out wide to the right. Sherman in motion. Kolb on 1st and goal. Under pressure, and he throws it away. He was chased by Kiwanuka. 2nd and goal coming up for Arizona.
Anthony Sherman needs to get to that outside shoulder on this play. They're trying to get Kevin Kolb out on the perimeter. So as he motions across, you got to get on the outside of Mathias Kiwanuka. He's going to get to the inside, which still allows Mathias to get upfield into the throwing spot of Kevin Kolb. Even if you have to come over and just cut him down.
Fitzgerald in motion, 2nd and goal. Here's Wells, and he is in for a Cardinals touchdown. Penalty flags. They're in the post touchdown, pushing and shoving.
Well, we saw Jeremy Bridges getting into it right before the end of the 1st half, and I think he could get flagged on this one. Good physical run by Beanie Wells right here. It takes on Corey Webster right at the goal line.
Nice blocking by Larry Fitz right there, too, to seal it off on the inside.
Corey's got to get down, meet that pad level, match it that Beanie Wells had. He ducked his head. He put himself into a dangerous position. But it all starts right here. He's trying to get off of him.
After the play was over, personal foul, offense, number 73. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. The touchdown is good.
So Jeremy Bridges flagged following the 1-yard touchdown run by Chris Beanie Wells, one of 11 kids. One of his brothers thought he was able to string bean, hence the nickname Beanie. Here's Jay Feely. 13-10, Arizona.
Jeremy Bridges is actually the 3rd guy that comes into this. Let's watch at the end of the run by Beanie Wells with Corey Webster right there. The initial contact. Now there's a little bit going on there. Now Anthony Sherman, number 35, will come in. He'll get a little bit of bump, and it'll go about Jeremy Bridges coming in from behind with the shove right there. And that gives you a 15-yard penalty. So you're kicking off from the 20 right now, and Ken Wisenhunt was furious at his offense. And we talked about it at the top. Football at its core is an emotional game, but you also got to be able to manage your emotions and play smart.
It's a 2010 style kickoff. No chance for a touchback when you kick off from the 20 instead of the 35. Return by DJ Ware. Ken Wisenhunt fired up. Cardinals by 3. Arizona Cardinals back on top. 13-10 over the New York Giants, who start from their own 27. For a 2nd half possession for Manning and the Giants. Bob Bradshaw, penalty markers down as Bradshaw is across the 40, out of bounds at the 48-yard line, gain of 21, but there are 2 flags.
Holding, offense, number 45. 10-yard penalty, replay, 1st down.
The fullback, Henry Inoski, the rookie out of Pitt.
I'll tell you what, Ahmad Bradshaw may have developed one of the best stiff arms in the NFL.
I don't know, Darryl, you like that call?
You know what? He put himself in the position to have it called, Tony, by not using good technique. He tried to work around him instead of just taking that inside shoulder and pinning Darrell Washington to the inside. He got a little bit too fancy, put himself in a bad spot.
He ran by the angle.
First down and 20 following the penalty on Inoski. From the 17, here's Bradshaw. Bradshaw gains 5. Now to the 22, Calais Campbell the tackle. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL to get NFL action right on your phone.
You know, the unfortunate thing on that play, Tony, is that's the easiest look, in my opinion, when you're running that lead. When you get the blitz up the middle into the A-gap by the linebacker, he's really making your job a lot easier because you just take that inside shoulder and just pin him to the inside.
Yeah, because he's coming to you, you're not going to him.
Yeah. 2nd down and 15. Off the play fake and flag as Manning's pass is caught out at the 40-yard line by Hakeem Nicks. But this one is against the Giants.
Holding. Offense, number 76. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Now this is, sorry Kenny, now this is definitely a hold. Chris Snee, gets swam. Take a look at this. Right on your left-hand side here, it's going to come in. There he is, Dan Williams, or Dockett comes in. When he goes by you like that, if you stay on him and you have any type of turning action where the officials see that, the flag is going to come out. I mean, Chris Snee knows that. That's not a smart play by him.
So the last two plays, gains of 21 and 17, have been negated by Giants penalties. Empty backfield, second down and 24. Manning throws and the catch is made by Nicks. Hakeem Nicks was wide open and takes it up to the Arizona 36, a 23-yard connection.
They're going to bring pressure. Adrian Peterson inside, Clark Hagan's outside. Travis Beckham does a nice job at sealing down and then bouncing out. And they both jump that little flare screen. Somebody's got to have Hakeem Nicks in coverage in that shallow area, but both Patrick Peterson and Darrell Washington on that action of that little smoke screen on the outside, both attacked Ahmad Bradshaw. Again, a really well-designed play by the Giants.
So on second and 24, Nicks gains 23. Now third down and 1, here's Bradshaw. And he will not get there.
23 is a lot easier to get than 1, huh, Darrell?
Oh,
man.
The big thing here, Tony, here's one of those things that everybody's waiting for, too. They had this against Seattle last week. You bring that tight end into that spot, and it changes your gap responsibilities. And Seattle really hurt Arizona with that play last week. They knew they were going to see it from the Giants today, so you know they repped it all week long, and there's your result.
Tough to block 9 guys when you got 9 in the box.
Weatherford punting from the 25. Good hang time, Peterson from the 15. Patrick Peterson across the 40, and Michael Boley will make the tackle. There is a flag. A 31-yard return by the rookie out of LSU.
And teams that are going to play against Patrick Peterson in the return game have to understand he's not going to beat you with speed. He is a physical returner. He breaks tackles.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Return team, number 35. 10-yard penalty. Arizona keeps the ball. Timeout.
Looks like the fullback Sherman Tank right there. Right in the back, number 35 right there. The tank is sinking right now, Darrell.
Back in Arizona, Kenny Albert, Darrell Johnston, Tony Siragusa, Kevin Kolb, and the Cardinals leading by 3. We saw Rocky Bernard, number 95, on the Giants sideline, rib injury. His return is probable. Giants without Justin Tuck today. OCU Manura making his season debut. And here's Beanie Wells out to the 24. Deion Grant made the tackle, gain of 7.
He's bringing a little bit of attitude with his run game today, too. Jeremy Bridges, yeah, they're going to keep an eye on him. He's been going at it all day with everybody.
They pick up the blitz really well. And there's Beanie Wells lowering the shoulder on Grant. Keep them legs going, though, Darrell.
Hey, he's running physical.
Bridges made it right tackle. Brandon Keith started the game. There's Wells. And Wells looks to have a Cardinals first down.
You know what, Tony, he's got some of that hidden yardage that you always talk about, because very rarely do you see Beanie Wells get driven backwards. It seems like he's always falling forward, so it's a half yard, a yard and a half. You keep adding those up. By the end of the game, there's 18, 20 extra yards of rushing yardage because Beanie is such a downhill forward rusher.
Now has 76 on 18 carries. Replaced in the backfield by Stevens Howling. From the 28, Stevens Howling. Gains a yard as we check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt, what's going on with the Packers and the Broncos?
Well, the Packers trying to join the Lions as the only unbeaten's left. Aaron Rodgers doing his part. This is his second touchdown run of the game. He's also thrown for 2 touchdown passes and is 21 of 27 for 289 yards in the air. That's why they lead 35-17 over the Broncos. Can you move some Goose?
All right, thanks, Kurt. 2nd and 9 upcoming for the Cardinals, who lead by 3.
Lock it, lock it.
Wells with a 1-yard touchdown run early in this 3rd quarter. Cobb with time, moving to his right. And he throws, and it's caught for a first down and more by the fullback, Anthony Sherman, who takes it all the way up to the 48-yard line, a 19-yard pass play.
Good adjustment as he sees Kevin Kolb start to scramble.
Nice moves also after he catches the ball.
Larry Fitzgerald lifts off the field.
Anthony Sherman, number 35, releasing it at the top of your screen, goes to the flat. Now he's out in the flat. Here comes Kevin Kolb. He's going to move opposite him, back into his line of sight. Let's take a look at Larry Fitzgerald.
So with Fitzgerald on the sidelines, Cobb again moving right under pressure, and he throws it away. Jason Pierre-Paul, who had 2 sacks last week with the hit on Kevin Kolb, and that is not good news for the Arizona Cardinals.
Working on a calf, so hopefully just a cramp. But Tony, you made a point on the opening drive with Kevin Kolb. Set your feet, stay in your pocket, find your guy. He's getting flushed a lot. You know, we understand when there's nothing there and you have to move, but we've seen several during the course of the game today where he's moved when he hasn't needed to. That opening series, he was very good in the pocket, setting his feet and throwing the ball. This drive, he's on the move a lot again.
Play clock at 2. 2nd and 10. Cobb backpedaling on the move, and once again under pressure, he throws it away.
Hey, you know what, Darryl, you're absolutely right. And if you see on this last play also, I mean, Kevin, there's no reason for him to have to back up or move. Right here, he comes off. Okay, you're settled right there. Your offensive line's doing a good job. They're bringing a little bit of pressure up into his face, and I talked about it in the open. If he sees pressure in his face, he's going to want to scramble, but he has time. If he just sits there and looks downfield, he has time. Oh, big flag out there. That was crazy.
While the quarterback was still in the pockets, intentional grounding, offense, number 4, 10-yard penalty, replay, the down counts, 3rd down.
Yeah, the big thing is he stays in the pocket. So when you're going to drift and you're going to just stay there, you're in that quarterback pocket. So as he just drifts back, he loses that protection of being able to scramble outside and just get it beyond the line of scrimmage and eliminate the intentional grounding. By just drifting backwards, he makes it harder for himself to get out of that play.
And he makes it easier for guys like that, OCU Manura, for his angle coming around the end. His aiming point could be more upfield, and it's harder for those offensive tackles to go and kick back far enough to cut that angle off.
Fitzgerald split to the left, 3rd down and 20. Cardinals must get to the Giants' 42.
Kevin Kolb's going to be called for offsides with that hard count he just had right there.
False start. Offense, number 4. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Now you got to be able to work that hard count just with your voice. You cannot make any kind of movement towards the line of scrimmage. And watch Kevin Kolb on this. When he goes to the hard count, watch how much he moves. Ready? He sees that the blitz is coming there, and boom. You see how he makes the motions with his hands? That's offsides.
So Goose, it forced the Cardinals back 5 more yards. Now 3rd down and 25. Complete to Tom Heap, Goose's former teammate in Baltimore. That's his first catch today. Not nearly enough for a first down. Tackled at the 47-yard line, so the Cardinals will punt it away.
One of the guys in this offense that Kevin Kolb is going to look to in certain situations. You can see he was locked on to Todd Heap there. You can see his eyes on that throw, but you're not going to convert that. Get yourself into this position, maybe get a good punt here and change field position back to your favor by pinning the Giants deep.
Cardinals punt end over end. A fair catch is called for by Aaron Ross at the 20, a 33-yard punt as the Cardinal trainers continue to work. There's David Boss, the Giants center, the former 49er. So for the burner, so he's replaced by number 77 out of Cornell, Kevin Booth. So a new center for the Giants who start from their own 20-yard line. Play action. Manning hit, loses the football, and it is recovered by Darnell Dockett of the Cardinals.
Well, when you have an injured player and a new player goes in, some coaches like to go right after that guy, and that's exactly what the Cardinals did. Watch Kevin Booth right here over the middle. He's just getting Casey Andrews. David Carter. David Carter comes right over with a swim move. The pressure right up in the face. Brandon Jacobs moves out of the way for some reason. Good job of going after the ball, getting the ball out. And a nice job by Dockett getting on it.
Yeah, Brandon Jacobs had a chance to clean up for his guys up front. You never run past color. I have no idea why he sidestepped David Carter on that.
Cobb hands it off to Beanie Wells, who takes it down to the 1. So David Carter with his first career sack forces the Manning fumble. Giants had committed only 2 turnovers over their first 3 games. They've turned it over twice today. Dockett, the recovery, and now 2nd and goal from the 1 for the Cards.
Gets that big hand right on the football.
A huge play by the Arizona defense. Second and goal from the 1. Here is Wells, and he is in with his 2nd touchdown today.
Here we go. The exact same play they scored on the last time they're down here. They're running right at this side, right here, running right at OCU Manura. Michael Boley on that edge. Again, Beanie Wells just running real physical.
It took only 2 plays following the Giants' turnover. Wells with his 2nd touchdown, feeling the extra point. The sack by that man, David Carter, rookie out of UCLA. And the Arizona Cardinals now lead the Giants. Next weekend on the FX Saturday College Football Game of the Week, Charles Davis and Gus Johnson will be in Lubbock, Texas for the final Big 12 meeting between 2 historic rivals as undefeated Texas Tech takes on the number 25 ranked Texas A&M Aggies, who will be looking for their 3rd straight win over the Red Raiders. The FX Saturday College Football Game of the Week next weekend in high definition only on FX. Check local listings for the start time in your area.
2 heartbreaking losses for Texas A&M the last 2 weeks. Oklahoma State blew a big first half lead, and they did the same thing again yesterday versus Arkansas.
Huge comebacks yesterday. College football today in the NFL. Here's Devin Thomas. Thomas across the 20 to the 25-yard line.
Kenny, at the top, we talked about the emotional aspect of the game of football and the confidence that the Giants had generated with the win over the Eagles last week, and maybe the lack of confidence with Arizona, the way they've been unable to finish games that were winnable for them the last 2 weeks. One of the other things we didn't talk about, coming in here, maybe a little bit of an emotional letdown. Division rival on the road last week at Philly, great performance. You're coming all the way out here to Arizona, and we've seen it. We saw Arizona take the field at the beginning of the game. It kind of faded in the first half. They did it here again in the second half. Very emotional, and the Giants have struggled to match that intensity.
Kevin Booth now remains in at center for the Giants as Manning hands it off to Brandon Jacobs, who gains 4. Out to the 29-yard line for the Giants, who led 10-6 at halftime, but the Cardinals have come back with 2 Beanie Wells touchdowns here in the 3rd quarter. The last one just 2 plays after the sack and forced fumble of Eli Manning. Second down and 6. Here's Jacobs again, and he is wrestled down to the backfield. It's Dockett who seconds to go.
There's that emotion that this Arizona Cardinal defense started the second half with again. Watch number 90 come flying in from the left side of the screen. There he is right there.
Dockett, the three-time Pro Bowler. Remember what Tom Coughlin told us yesterday? He said Dockett is a force anytime, anywhere.
You want to double him, and in the scheme that Arizona runs now, he doesn't get one-on-one and allowed to be upfield as much as he has in the old system. But if he finds his opportunities like right here, when he can get one-on-one, you better be ready.
Third down and 9. Manning fires downfield. There is a flag. 2 flags. Manningham, the intended receiver, Kerry Rhodes, made contact.
Yeah, not much to argue with right here. I don't know why the Arizona Cardinals are up in arms.
Pass interference. Defense, number 45. Playing through the back of the receiver. Automatic first down.
It's actually 25, Kerry Rhodes, the former New York Jet.
Mario Manningham, number 82, as he comes up the field. Kerry Rhodes just comes right through the back. I don't know why there's so much question about that call.
So it gives the Giants an automatic first down from their own 46, trailing by 10. Brandon Jacobs up the middle into Cardinals territory, gain of 6. We approach 1 minute remaining, third quarter here in Glendale, Arizona. Side of the Giants 17-14 win over New England in Super Bowl 42. This is their second time back. They're on the same sideline, using the same locker room as they did back in February 2008 when they upset the Patriots. From the 48, second down and 4. And the fullback Henry Heinowski picks up the Giants first down to the Arizona 43.
And this Giants offense settled down, getting into a rhythm on this drive. Could prove to be a costly penalty on Kerry Rhodes. It really kind of got them out towards midfield, and Kevin Gilbride, we touched on it in the first half, just did a great job with his calls last week. See what he can dial up here on this drive.
From the Cardinals 43, Manning looking for Manningham. Out of bounds.
Eli's got to get rid of this ball a little bit sooner than he would want to. They've got their matchup that they want. They've got one-on-one on the outside. Mario Manningham along with A.J. Jefferson. You can see the awkward way he had to deliver that ball. That's why it drifts out of bounds.
Manningham no catches today, returning from the concussion missed last week's game. Now second and 10. There's Jacobs inside the 40 to the 38 as the third quarter comes to an end. 2 Beanie Wells touchdowns in the third. Cardinals lead by 10. We'll return after these messages from your third quarter touchdowns. And trail by 10 entering the fourth.
He's one of those guys that's kind of emerging as that leader on the defensive side of the ball. So not the same group for the Giants defense when Justin Tuck's not out there.
Third down and 5 from the Cardinals 38. Manning complete to Victor Cruz, and he has a Giants first down at the Cardinals 25. Third catch for Cruz, gain of 13.
Just continues to do great things, makes the adjustment right here. You're going to see there's going to be pressure coming in. Watch him adjust this route right there. Sees the blitz, gets inside. Richard Marshall makes a nice catch because Richard Marshall is there right as the ball arrives.
So Cruz out of Patterson, New Jersey, second year out of UMass, allows the Giants to move the chains from the 25-yard line. Manning to Cruz once again at the Cardinals 17 as we check in on the Falcons and the Seahawks with Kurt.
Well, what looked like an Atlanta blowout has gotten a lot closer in Seattle. Marshawn Lynch's 11-yard touchdown run, part of a 14-0 Seahawk run. It's now 27-21. Atlanta trying to hold on late in the third. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. Seattle with the 13-10 win over these Arizona Cardinals last week.
Really turning around. Doesn't look like you want to play Seattle up there on the West Coast. That 12th man raising its head.
Long flight.
Especially from Atlanta. Second down and 3. Manning steps up. He was hit as he got rid of the football. So the Giants now facing 3rd down and 3.
But again, we've talked about Kevin Kolb when he feels the pressure around him, and just watch the maturity that Eli Manning has in those same situations. They're bringing the blitz. It's just a little bit of movement up in the pocket or side to side, and you know you're going to take the hit, but he hangs in there until the last second so many times.
Third down and 3. Giants must get to the 15 for a first down. Manning rolling right. And it's Mario Manningham who makes the catch, his first today at the Cardinals 8 for a Giants first down.
Good timing on this. He comes in motion right here. Works up the field. Great speed cut. Gets A.J. Jefferson turned around. Has his back to the ball there for a second. Great job getting out of that route. Good protection up front. They moved the pocket that time. For the last few passes, they've been getting a little stagnant in their launch point, having Eli go back to the same point over and over again. That time they kind of moved it a little bit to the right, got him into a different area, so if they had a blitz or the rush call, he'd be offset.
Gain of 10 for Manningham now on 1st and goal from the 8. Jacobs is bottled up and loses a couple of yards. The initial pressure from Dockett.
Darnell Dockett has been a force here in the second half.
Does a great job of identifying whether it's run or pass. Moving, a lot of movement up on that line of scrimmage with him. Great player.
Giants send in Stacey Andrews as an extra blocker. This will be the 12th play of the drive. 2nd and goal from the 11.
Last time they had Stacey and they ran right behind him on a little zone play.
This time play action. Manning throws, and wide open, reaching across, is the tight end Jake Ballard for a Giants touchdown.
I know they wouldn't have fooled you on that one, would they, Goose?
A throwback? I don't know.
That's such a tough play down here. Jake Ballard's going to come from all the way on this side. You get lost in the shuffle, lost in the shuffle. Great job of being patient. So many times you get a guy in a situation like that and he wants to leave early. And the longer you can stay, the longer you can hold it, the better opportunity you have to get lost as everybody pursues around.
Now remember, all scoring plays are reviewed.
Looks like he's short.
Was the right knee down? It looks like it was. So Jerome Boger will head over and take a look. It'll be either a Giants touchdown or 3rd and goal from the 1.
Today's game is sponsored by Corona Extra, who invites you to find your beach. By Burger King, where you can enjoy the flavor of soft serve in several delicious combinations. And by Universal Pictures' The Thing, in theaters October 14th.
Well, the last play was ruled a touchdown, first of Jake Ballard's career, but it looked as if his right knee was down. Here's Jerome Boger.
After reviewing the play, the receiver's knee was down short of the goal line. It will be New York Giants ball, 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line.
Pretty easy call here for the officials. Good hustle again by Calais Campbell. And we saw him with a big hustle play with a turnover early. There's the knee down, short of the goal line. And Calais Campbell on that play, hustling back, is going to at least make the Giants work one more play, maybe 2, to get this in the end zone.
You never know what could happen down here.
2 tight ends plus Stacey Andrews. 3rd and goal from the 1. Brandon Jacobs in for the Giants touchdown.
That's a heck of a drive by the New York Giants right there. 14 straight points by the Cardinals. That's a great answer. Coming right at us. Big Stacey Andrews, there he is, setting that foot motion across with Bear Pasco. They do a great job knocking people off the ball. And then Brandon Jacobs finishes it over Adrian Wilson.
Lawrence Tynes for the point after, so the Giants fall to within 3. Third touchdown of the year. Brandon Jacobs has pulled the Giants to within 3 after the Cardinals scored a pair of third-quarter touchdowns.
Good composure by this Giant team. You know, goes that confidence. You know, going into Philadelphia last week. You know, they felt like they believed it before, but when you go out and do it and you validate it, it means so much more to the team. So now they play their style, and they've been uncharacteristic today. Some turnovers, some sloppy penalties. They're hanging in there.
A.J. Jefferson takes a knee. Cardinals will start from their own 20-yard line. They'll strap in and buckle down for an animation domination whirlwind event. Don't miss a flurry of new episodes that are part of one mind-blowing night. Animation Domination's whirlwind event. It all starts tonight at 7, 6 Central on Fox.
Eli Manning getting together with Kevin Gilbride, figure out what did we do right there? Why was that one such a nice drive? Look at that, 13 plays, 75 yards. Good execution by the Giants.
First and 10 from the 20-yard line, and Vinny Wells, met by Deion Grant, gains just 1. O.C. Umenyiora making his return to the Giants today, underwent arthroscopic knee surgery on August 19th.
Couldn't be perfect timing for his return, too, with Justin Tuck being out of lineup. It would have been a much different New York Giant front with both of those guys out of the lineup.
Second down and 9. Cobb throws as he was hit, and there's a flag as Aaron Ross made contact with receiver Andre Roberts.
Holding, defense, number 34, 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Deion Grant flag for the hold.
And he was not happy with the call. He was saying that Jeff King was actually the one who initiated contact. He's going to be right here. Let's see, when he gets matched up with 87 coming out, he's got a hold of him right there, holding, working him on that spot. Now when he gets beyond 5 yards,
well, you can go and press him inside 5 yards, but you have to let him go at some point.
Well, I don't think he was holding, Tony. I just think he jammed him. He was inside 5 yards.
On first down from the 25, here's Wells. And Beanie gains a couple out to the 27. Early fourth quarter here in Glendale, Arizona. Arizona Cardinals lead the New York Giants 20-17. Cardinals won their opening game 28-21 over Carolina, then 2 losses on the road at Washington, at Seattle by a combined 4 points.
Tough losses for the Cardinals. Opportunities to win both those games at the end.
Second down and 8, off the play fake. Cobb looking for Fitzgerald, and it is picked off by the former Cardinal and Larry Fitzgerald's very good friend. They were scheduled to have dinner last night, in fact, Antrell Roll.
We talked about this earlier in the game of throwing the ball up and allowing Larry Fitzgerald to make a play, but this is a different situation. This is not a jump ball situation. Watch Antrell Roll and how he plays this. All right, he's watching everything. He's going to be able to make a break on the ball from a point where Larry really can't pick him up in his path of vision. So it's not necessarily a jump ball situation. That was all Antrell Roll.
Today's game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
Giants take over at their own 42 following the interception by Roll in his first game against the Cardinals. He was Arizona's first-round pick back in 2005 and spent 5 years with the Cardinals, started Super Bowl 43. So here's Manning on first down, complete in Cardinals territory to Hakeem Nicks.
Let's go back and take a look at this interception, and let's just clarify some stuff. Keep your eyes on Antrell Roll, but then also right here, this is Todd Heap. He's going to come up and make the in route. If Kevin Kolb gets his eyes there, he'll pull Antrell Roll up on Todd Heap. But what does he do, Tony?
Oh, he looks right over at Larry Fitz right off the top. Watch him right here. He looks right to his left. That's where Larry is. Entre roll. All he has to do is read Kevin Kolb's eyes, and he takes him right to where the ball's going to go. That's why you saw an interception and not a completion.
Second Cardinals turnover. Giants did not capitalize following the first. Now Manning firing downfield looking for Cruz, and there is a flag. Richard Marshall comes up limping. He had the coverage on Victor Cruz.
Prior to the pass, holding, defense, number 31. 5-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
So add insult to injury, Marshall the hold and the injury.
Yeah, well, they got the hold instead of pass interference. You see right there, a little grab and tug, and Victor Cruz just continues to make plays, and it was one of the questions we had. He did such a nice job on the outside last week against Philadelphia. We wondered where he was going to be this week with Mario Manningham coming back. I've seen him in the slot. I've seen him outside on the edges, so he's doing a nice job.
11th Arizona penalty. First and 10 for the Giants from the Cardinals 40. Ahmad Bradshaw tries to cut to the outside, and he gains a yard down to the 39. There is another flag. Clark Hagan's made the tackle.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Yeah, we've done quite a few Giant games over the last few years. I think Chris Snee has more penalties today than he's had in any other Giant game I've done cumulatively.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he's solid as a rock normally, and he's had a tough day today.
He's a 3-time Pro Bowler. He's got each of the last 3 years. Today is 100th consecutive start. He's Tom Coughlin's son-in-law, and you're right. He has hardly ever whistled for penalties. First down and 15. The screen to Bradshaw, and Bradshaw is tackled at the 44-yard line by Michael Adams.
Kevin Kolb and Larry Fitzgerald on that last one. Over on the sideline, you see him talking about possibly that interception. Darryl, maybe they were listening to us on television, and Larry's telling Kevin not to look where he's throwing the ball. What do you think?
Could be.
Second down and 14. Manning under pressure, complete to Bradshaw, but a terrific tackle. No gain on the play. Darryl Washington, as we check in for an update on the American League Division Series with Kurt.
Yeah, a little baseball for you. Robinson Cano, though, grounds out with 2 on and down 2 to the Tigers to end the ball game. Detroit wins it 5-3, tying that series at a game apiece. And we remind you that Saturday night, the American League Championship Series begins right here on Fox, 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. I know you'll be there, Kenny.
Absolutely. Thanks, Kurt. Third down and 14 for the Giants, who trail by 3. Manning just able to get rid of it after the pressure up the middle from Adrian Wilson.
That's a tough job for Ahmad Bradshaw crossing the formation. It's good vision to pick him up, but here comes Adrian Wilson this way. He's going to have to cross formation, and he's just down too low. Just stay on your feet. You know, guys want to throw. Even if you throw on Adrian Peterson, he's going to knock you into the ground and then still make his way to the quarterback. Get across there, stay on your feet, anticipate his angle.
So the Giants again unable to capitalize following the Arizona turnover. Weatherford's punt, end over end. Here's Peterson from the 11. Patrick Peterson stumbles ahead to the 23. 12 yards on the return. Cardinals leading by 3. 8:25 remaining, fourth quarter here in Glendale, Arizona. OCU Manura and the New York Giants trailing by 3. There's Justin Tuck on the sidelines today. Cardinals with the 3-point lead, start from their own 23-yard line. Giants led 10-6 at the half. 2 B.D. Wells touchdowns in the third quarter. Brandon Jacobs with a 1-yard touchdown run for the Giants here in the fourth.
Hands.
On first down, it's Beanie Wells. Wells out to the 26, gain of 3. Jason Pierre-Paul, the tackle.
Jason Pierre-Paul has been kind of quiet this afternoon.
Yeah, he doesn't look right for some reason, Darryl. I thought that we'd get a lot more out of him today, you know, especially with Tuck out, a few more reps.
What do you think, Goose? A big change from going from the right defensive end to the left defensive end? Would that have an impact?
It is. It really is. So, you know, when you have to put your other foot down, and, you know, and your other hand down, sometimes that messes up with your timing that you have to go and establish with a defensive end.
5'9".
Kolb on 2nd and 7. Kolb throws. Fitzgerald first down. Out to the 42.
You can see the potential of this offense with Kevin Kolb as quarterback from time to time. It's just got to get a little bit more consistent. Just nice timing right here. The in route, you know, in front of the safety, away from the corner, into that nice little soft spot.
And with that catch, 101 yards today for Fitzgerald. His 28th career 100-yard game, and that is a new franchise record. He had been tied with Anquan Bolden.
Leave it.
From the 43, Beanie Wells turns the corner into Giants territory. And he is finally brought down by Kenny Phillips.
I'm not really sure what happened to the Giants' defensive right side, but everything just got absolutely collapsed in. Let's see what happens with OC up here. I mean, he goes inside, you get the crack on the support by Larry Fitzgerald on Antrell Roll. So Antrell got the interception against Larry. Larry gets the big block that spins Beanie Wells down the field, but there was nobody in run support to the Giants' defensive right side on that play.
Kolb's excited. 39 yards on that run by Wells, and he is over 100 for the second time in his career. That is Alphonso Smith, the second-year back out of Kentucky. We saw extensive action last week against Seattle. His first carry today. We are under 6 minutes remaining, fourth quarter, with the Cardinals on the move, leading by 3.
Pretty nice day by this Cardinal offense. You see, with 125 yards by Beanie Wells, Larry Fitzgerald over 100 yards receiving. So and the coaches were worried. The double threat with Beanie Wells back in there.
Here's Smith once again. Alphonso Smith has a first down. And he is ruled out of bounds just outside the 2.
Unfortunate he stepped out of bounds, because that was a great effort by Alphonso to get that ball down to the goal line and break the plane. You see he steps out right there. The knee was down anyways. It was going to come back. He knew he had to get it in there because Beanie Wells would be coming if he didn't get that one.
He did pick up the first.
Now let's see.
Giants were shuffling in personnel late. Tom Coughlin out on the field. And it looks like Ken Wisenhunt has thrown his red challenge flag.
First charge, timeout. First charge, timeout, New York Giants.
I don't know what Ken Wisenhunt would be challenging right here. He's throwing the challenge flag. I don't know. He's trying to get 12 men in the huddle? Because there's no reason to challenge that touchdown play. He was stepped out of bounds.
Arizona is challenging the rule of the field that the runner was stopped short of the goal line.
Now this is a bad challenge by Ken Wisenhunt. He is not getting good information upstairs, because he is out of bounds, hand and knee down.
Couldn't be any more clear than that. Ken Wisenhunt, Cardinals head coach, challenged the last play. Alphonso Smith ruled down at the 2 as we bring in our rules analyst, Mike Pereira. Mike, what did you see?
Well, I think you're absolutely right. He's clearly down. I think the more interesting thing is who's going to get charged with a timeout here, because the Giants called a timeout Then there was the actual challenge, and now Arizona's going to lose the timeout because they're going to lose the challenge. Clearly the shin is down and the spot is good, so what they're trying to sort now will be actually whether the Giants are going to be charged with this timeout because of the fact that Arizona challenged the play. I think that's the most interesting part of the entire subject here, and it may end up that both teams do get charged with a timeout.
How about spot of the ball, Mike? Even though it's a half yard, could that open up where he wins based on that and doesn't lose that timeout?
No, because of the because you're only gonna win this challenge if in fact you rule a score.
Down short of the goal line at the 2-yard line. Arizona is charged a challenge and is charged a team timeout.
Hey, Mike, can you clarify that again? What you said earlier about the timeout?
They're only going to win this challenge, and they're trying to rule that that was a score, that they weren't down by contact. So they're only going to win that challenge if, in fact, they convert this into a score. When they move the ball half a yard or something, that's like not changing the status of a first or fourth down. That's not considered a win of the challenge, so therefore they are charged with that timeout.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Got it.
Good thing we got Mike Ferreira, because he straightens out a lot of stuff for us now.
Yeah, because that one, I thought you had a good point there, Tony, that, we've got to spot it at the 2, but if you looked at it, and if everything is, they would have gotten down to the 1.5. So I'm sitting here thinking, why would you challenge? There's no score. And then I thought you had a good point that, even if it's that half yard, we know how tough it is to get yardage down here, this part of the field.
Big difference.
And we assume Tom Coughlin is wondering if he will get his timeout back. He called the timeout initially, then Whisenhunt threw the red flag. He loses a timeout due to the unsuccessful challenge of the play with regard to a touchdown.
I don't think it's going Coach Coughlin's favor right now.
So again, the discussion has to do with whether or not the Giants will get back their timeout that Tom Coughlin used a moment ago prior to the challenge by Whisenhunt.
And that's a huge timeout to have if it's just a field goal at the end of this drive and it goes to 23-17.
So after all that, it's 1st and goal for the Cardinals from the Giants 2. Beanie Wells walks it in for a Cardinals touchdown, his 3rd of the game.
I don't understand. They loaded everything up over there, yet they still do not have contain on the outside. There's so many defenders for the Giants sitting at the point of attack, and yet watch Matthias Kiwanuka come up so high on this instead of squeezing down real tight. Why is he upfield so far on that play? He expands that hole.
First career 3-touchdown game for Beanie Wells. The extra point by Feely is good, and the Cardinals go back up by 10.
I talked about a good response by the Giants to get their touchdown, and the Cardinals come right back. Match that. And it's really been a huge return for Beanie Wells this afternoon. Physical all day long. I mean, he has finished runs. There's not been one carry where Beanie Wells has gone backwards. And every run down on the goal line. Giants right, Giants right, Giants right. Arizona found something that they liked in their matchup with the left side of their offensive line going up against the right side of the Giants defense.
They've just been attacking it all day long.
Touchdown runs of 1, 1, and 2 yards. First Cardinal to score 3 rushing touchdowns in one game since Marcel Shipp in St. Louis back in 2006. While we have a moment, we would like to send our condolences from the entire Fox Sports family to the Murphy family, the Giants security chief for many years, Mike Murphy. His father, Joseph Murphy Sr., passed away earlier this week at the age of 90. Murph is not with the team today. we send our best wishes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thinking of you, Murph.
5:16 remaining, fourth quarter. Cardinals leading the Giants by 10. And Thomas takes a knee. Giants will start from the 20 as we check in once again with Kurt.
Well, the Falcons took a 27-7 lead over the Seahawks. Since then, it's been all Seattle. DeForest Jackson patiently hooking up with Ben Obomanu for the 8-yard score, and it's now a 30-28 Atlanta lead. Falcons trying to hold on, less than 5 minutes to go. Any Moose and Deuce.
All right, thanks, Kurt. Once again, in the upper left-hand corner, our Fox box, the timeout situation. And the scoreboard in the stadium indicates the Giants have 2 remaining. That is the word we are getting from the field. So Tom Coughlin did not get his timeout back moments ago prior to the Arizona challenge. So each team with 2 timeouts remaining. Giants trail by 10 as Manning throws, and it's caught by Nix out at the 29-yard line for a gain of 9. Patrick Peterson, the tackle.
And we'll get into a little bit of an up-tempo offense here for the Giants, with this being a 2-possession game right now.
Second down and 1. Inside handoff to Bradshaw. And Bradshaw looks to have a Giants first down at the 31. Nix. 7 yards, his 8th career 100-yard game. 8 receptions today. Manning, pump fake on first down. Loads of time. Fires downfield, and it's caught by the tight end Ballard in Cardinals territory.
Right now, Dockett is not in. That defensive line, they are just being stopped dead on the line of scrimmage. These guys are just stopping, not pursuing Eli Manning. If you let him sit back there, he'll pick you apart all day.
And Dockett's on the sidelines because he has his helmet on. As Manning fires for another first down to Victor Cruz.
Again, that confidence and that maturity to stay in that pocket, Goose. I mean, even on that last one, I mean, Eli did not drift at all. He hung at the back of the pocket, didn't drift side to side or back, hung in there, and then he was able to find Jake Ballard down the field.
It's a guy who has ice in his veins, Darryl. Just patient, waits for his opportunities like we saw last week against the Eagles. And makes him count when he takes the shots.
And like he's done, Goose, in this stadium when it counted most. That throw is through the hands of Cruz. Michael Adams on the coverage.
And it's taken a while for Eli to find that matchup. We saw Richard Marshall go out on the last series. Now Michael Adams comes in as the nickelback. Would have expected Eli to test that matchup earlier. Good position by Michael Adams in coverage.
Marshall into his right quad. There's defensive coordinator Ray Horton. Spent the last 7 years on the Steelers staff. Second and 10, low snap. Manning to the outside, and Nix wins the battle. Hakeem Nix took it away from A.J. Jefferson and brings it all the way down inside the 2.
This is just a great individual effort by Hakeem Nix. Again, it's the back shoulder throw that Tony was talking about. I really think that A.J. Jefferson is in good position. You know, you can't play it much better than just finishing the play, but again, Hakeem Nix just takes the ball from him.
Seems like they've been throwing at A.J. Jefferson all day today, Darryl, and doesn't look like they're going to let up at all.
And Jefferson, guys, slow to get up. He's down on the field at the 10-yard line.
Yeah, he's been in position a number of times today, Tony. Has not played poorly at all. And it's been some really good individual plays against him in coverage.
Remember, in the secondary, Cardinals already lost Richard Marshall, as Darryl mentioned, with the right quad injury. He was replaced by Adams. And now Jefferson, the starting left quarterback, is down. So the Giants, who started this drive at their own 20, have gone 78 yards in 6 plays against Ray Horton's defense.
And again, it's not being able to get to the quarterback right now. Eli Manning is being able to stand in that pocket and make throws down the field. He's not being pressured at all. That has been the big difference on this drive. And again, the confidence that we talked about at the top of the broadcast. Here the Giants are, they're never going to be nervous about a situation during the course of the game. So they're going to march right down the field right here. And Arizona, searching for something to gain confidence, is finding themselves in a very similar situation to what's happened to them the last 2 weeks. Check the secondary for you. There's Kerry Rhodes, there's Adrian Wilson. Now those are your two safeties. You'll have Patrick Peterson at one corner. Michael Adams will come in as the nickel. The Giants go to a different personnel so they can actually get more linebackers on the field. Interesting call.
First and goal from the 2. Manning to the end zone. And Ballard came down with it for the Giants touchdown.
Jake Ballard. Great work in the back of the end zone. Stuart Bradley in position. There's the catch. 1 foot down. Look at the big guy get both feet down. Possession all the way through the catch.
We talked about it earlier about Eli Manning just sitting in the pocket and being patient. Tell you what, he was never more patient than he was on this play, Darryl. He had been wide open earlier, but just sat there and waited for the right time, threw a perfect ball to the back of the end zone to Jake Ballard, and saw what happened.
Now they're going to go take a look at this to make sure that he got both feet down and had possession all the way through the catch as you went to the ground. I didn't see anything that would be contrary to that, but I was actually surprised of the personnel group, Goose, because you had Richard Marshall out as your nickelback, and then A.J. Jefferson goes down as your corner, and they send out a personnel group that doesn't take advantage of the fact that they just lost, a lot of that secondary. I thought they were going to come in and maybe spread them out, try and create a matchup there.
Now remember, you have to get both feet down and then complete the catch, maintain possession. Looks like Ballard did. Remember, he lost the touchdown earlier when his knee was ruled down, and then Brandon Jacobs scored on the next play.
So he has that ball pressed against his body, and it never leaves. You can see it right there. I mean, he just makes a great catch, gets both feet in for a big guy, and no question on this play.
A number of times today, Tony, we have seen Arizona Cardinal players in a position to make a play on the ball, and with that, whether it's their eyes aren't back on the quarterback, they don't get that call that the ball's coming in to be able to get that head around and make a play on it. The Giants have been very, very good in a lot of these jump ball situations, not only offensively, but also Antrell Roll there against Larry Fitzgerald that one time when he got his interception. The only one they lost was the one to Larry that was down deep in Giant territory in the first half.
So Jake Ballard hopes that this will not be overturned and will stand as his first NFL touchdown. 6'6" tight end in his second season out of Ohio State.
After reviewing the play, the rule on this field stands. Touchdown.
And he did a heck of a job last week in the Philadelphia game, blocking those defensive ends for the Eagles. So Jake Ballard really starting out with a good year. Adding a little bit of diversity to what he can do. That's great athleticism right there to make that catch. So he's not just a big body that's going to block on the end of the line for you.
Replacing Kevin Boss now in Oakland, who had some real good years for the Giants. As the starting tight end. Lawrence Tynes pulls the Giants back to within 3 with 3:37 remaining here in Glendale, Arizona.
Well, it's up to Kevin Kolb and Larry Fitzgerald in this Cardinal offense to get out on this field. Obviously, points are at a premium, but you need to burn some clock. You need to get some first downs. It has been back and forth all day. Beanie Wells just been a physical runner all afternoon. The Cardinal offense attacking that right side of the Giant defense. But the Giants, they're never out of it. The confidence that they gained from last week, you're going to play 60 minutes against these guys. There's the culmination of that last drive to get it back to 27-24. So Kevin Kolb, really Doucette, Larry Fitzgerald, they've got to be able to get out there to convert, to take time off this clock. So it's such a similar situation to what we've seen the Arizona Cardinals in now for the last couple of weeks, and they've been unable to finish those types of games against Washington, against Seattle last week. They're in another one this afternoon against the Giants. And eventually you're going to start to question yourselves when you get in these situations. Can we finish? Can we win one of these types of games? This is critical for the Arizona Cardinals moving forward this year.
And Tom Coughlin has used that word finish ever since the Giants' stunning loss to Philadelphia, 28 fourth-quarter points last December.
Yeah, and that was their big moment last week. You know, a game that I don't think anybody really felt they had a chance to. They go down to Philadelphia and just play great team football.
2 timeouts for the Giants. Too early for an onside kick here?
I don't know. I'm
Absolutely.
surprised that they're not trying it.
No. Kick it deep.
And that is exactly what Times does. So the Cardinals will start from the 20. 3:37 remaining. Giants with the 2 timeouts, trailing by 3.
I don't know, Darryl. Beanie Wells, how's he been? He's been running extremely well so far.
So you would have gone for the onside kick, Goose?
No, I think that it puts a little bit of pressure on the defense. Yes, it does, but you got to take a chance, I think. Now you're kicking it back. You have 3 minutes, 37 seconds. You got a running back who's running pretty well. They're going to attack the left side of the line of scrimmage like they have been all day, and we'll see what happens. But I think you have an opportunity here to go for an onside kick. I would have taken it.
As you saw in our game summary, 127 yards and 3 touchdowns for the man Goose was talking about. There he is. Beanie Wells. Larry Fitzgerald has set a couple of franchise records today. And with 3:32 remaining, Giants use their second timeout. They have 1 remaining.
And they've also got the 2-minute warning, so you know you're kind of coming into this drive with 3 timeouts. So I'm gonna say no to the onside kick, Goose.
All right. Well, Goose, I know you'll be following what the Yankees do over the next couple of days. And Darryl, you live down in Dallas. Texas Rangers involved in a terrific series with the Tampa Bay Rays. It's game 1 of the American League Championship Series here on Fox next Saturday. Who will advance? Game 1 next Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, right here on Fox.
How about Longoria there, Darryl? Did you see them 2 home runs in the clinch there with Tampa Bay?
Unbelievable.
Woof. Kenny, I know you enjoyed that.
What a night. One of the most exciting nights in the history of regular season Major League Baseball. Exciting second half here in Arizona. 2nd down and 7. With the Cardinals leading by 3. Kolb over to his right. Now he throws, and the catch is made by the tight end Jeff King. Nice tackle by Deion Grant, along with Aaron Ross, gain of just 3.
Let's watch Kevin Kolb here in the pocket. Sits back. Now he's nice and calm, but I'll tell you what, there's nothing more true than the pressure up in a quarterback's face to make him go and move to the outside. That's exactly what the Giants did.
Giants now out of timeouts, guys, with 3:24 remaining. They use their 3rd.
But a great job by Jeff King working the sideline there, making sure you get back to the middle of the field so they have to tackle you inbounds.
I'm with you, Dave. Tom Coughlin not happy.
Yeah, he wants that other timeout back.
I talked to Carl Pagnelli down here when they were in the end zone kicking that extra point. He said the timeout was called before the red flag, and that's why they were charged with it.
So if it's simultaneous, they might have gotten it back?
I don't know about that, but you know, the Giants have already called the timeout, so they're charged with it, and then the red flag is the challenge. So that's why both teams got charged with a timeout. The Cardinals lost it.
Always working the officials, Goose. Always working the officials.
You just got to get it straight. Good guys down here. They got a tough job, I'll tell you.
Huge snap here.
We see it in slow motion, but they have to do it in real time. It ain't easy officiating out here.
Cardinals lost that challenge, but the Giants lost the timeout. Now 3rd down and 4. And Kolb's pass is incomplete. No flags. Entrell roll on the coverage. Early Doucette, the intended receiver. Giants will get the ball back as the Cardinals will punt it away with 3:21 on the clock.
I'm glad we both decided not to go for that onside kick, Darryl. I know that would be a bad choice here.
Early Doucette has had some plays for the Arizona Cardinals on 3rd down, but not that time. They bring up the Entrell roll, put him right on him, press him up there in coverage.
Zastudil punting from the 15-yard line. Aaron Ross takes it out to 34. Ross across midfield to the Cardinals 48.
Well, Dave Zastudil has hit some big punts during the course of the afternoon. He needed one there, and he didn't get it.
Only a 40-yard punt and then an 18-yard return by Ross, who took over last week on punt returns for Dominic Hickson, who's out for the season.
Let's go back and take a look at the scenario where the timeout by the Giants was called and the challenge was by the Cardinals. This is simultaneous, running at the same speed, timeout throw.
That was close. Coughlin lost the argument and the timeout. Manning cuts away from the pressure, and the pass is caught by Victor Cruz, who stays on his feet and takes it down for the 29. He then lost the football.
No one touched him. He's not down. That's a fumble.
Giants run their next play. At least they tried to.
Ken Whisenhunt threw it out. It's not onto the field very far, but he got it out before the snap.
Whisenhunt using his second challenge as Cruz was ruled down. Let's take another look.
He breaks that tackle.
So contacted initially by Adams, stayed on his feet, goes down.
No one touches him, and the ball's on the ground. That's a bad mistake by Cruz right there.
Was not touched. And once again, Whisenhunt is challenged, throwing the red flag for the second time this quarter. And we will welcome back in from Los Angeles our rules analyst after Jerome Boger.
The ruling on the previous play was that the receiver gave himself up by going to the ground. That cannot be challenged. So there is no challenge allowed by Arizona.
Wow.
It's first down, New York.
So it is ruled that Cruz gave himself up. What do you think, Mike Pereira?
Well, here I go again, and you see something that you hardly ever see. I don't know that he gave himself up. When you talk about giving yourself up, you are actually talking about deliberately going to the ground. I think he stumbles and then lets the ball go. You know, to me, I think you have to play that, but he's right. If you've ruled that he'd given himself up and going to the ground, you cannot review that.
Mike, can you challenge something else in the play? And then
it doesn't make any difference because even if you do, you can't go back to that because it's not reviewable.
And now Manning hits Nix for a go-ahead touchdown.
Wow, what a crazy segue plays.
Oh, my Lord.
29 yards from Eli Manning to Hakeem Nicks. Some more magic for Manning here in Glendale, Arizona.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. Hakeem Nicks on the outside working against Patrick Peterson. Just loses contact with him, loses field. The ball's thrown to the inside. Hakeem Nicks goes and gets it. And Mike, I agree with you. I thought on that play by Victor Cruz, he did not give himself up, that he did stumble.
The extra point is good, and the Giants, with their third touchdown here in the fourth quarter, now lead the Cardinals 31-27. What a huge turn of events over the last couple of minutes.
So, Mike, it does not matter what happens from the point that the referee decides that he was giving himself up. That shuts that play down.
This is not like the ruling of down by contact that you can play through that. Since they ruled he gave himself up, that's like a forward progress ruling. It's not reviewable. But again, I think you got to look at giving yourself up. That's like deliberately going to the ground with like the feet first slide or something like that, or taking a knee. To me, really what you have is Cruz stumbling there, and that's what he does. And I think you play through that and don't protect him from his own stupidity. Which what it did is he got up and then released the ball. You know, we've had plays before, an Oakland-San Diego game where an Oakland player actually, or a San Diego player got up and threw a forward pass to the ground because he thought he was actually touchdown, and he wasn't. So I kind of think you look at this one and say they really erred on this because this was really not going to the ground on your own and giving yourself up.
Mike, about a decade ago, a game between Pittsburgh and Atlanta, Plaxico Burress spiked the ball. He was not touched, and that was a huge play in that game.
Remember that well. Those are the two plays you think about, the Plaxico play and then the play in that game involving the Raiders in San Diego.
All right, thanks, Mike. Great job as always. So the Giants capitalized after it was ruled that Cruz gave himself up. Cardinals could not challenge. Manning 29 yards to Nix. And the Giants have the lead, 31-27. Andre Roberts on the return. Now remember, the Giants have used all of their timeouts. Cardinals, with 2:35 on the game clock, have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Giants scored 2 touchdowns in 58 seconds. Manning with a 2-yard touchdown pass to Ballard. And then after the Cardinals punt and a controversial play involving Victor Cruz, 29 yards from Manning to Hakeem Nicks.
Now that was the most unbelievable segment of plays, back-to-back plays I've ever seen.
So now with 2:35 remaining from the 24. Kolb on first down. And the pass is caught by Todd Heap, who takes it out of bounds at the 33, a gain of 9.
But what you have to do in this situation is continue to bring pressure into the face of Kevin Kolb, like Tony Siragusa has been saying all day. When you do that, he's shuffling backwards, he's moving side to side, he's getting out of that rhythm passing game that is a part of this Arizona offense. On that play there, he's able to go back, stand in the pocket. He looks at early Doucette. He moves through his progressions and finds Todd Heap on the other side of the field. Don't let him get comfortable.
Second down and 1. Inside handoff to Beanie Wells. Wells picks up a first down, tackled at the 41-yard line by Jaquan Williams. Remember, the Cardinals with 2 timeouts. Clock continues to run. We approach the 2-minute warning. Kolb moving to his right, and that pass deflected by Jason Pierre-Paul. And that will take us to the 2-minute warning. A wild 4th quarter here in Glendale, Arizona. Giants lead. 2 minutes remaining here in Arizona. New York Giants lead the Arizona Cardinals 31-27. Cardinals led by 10 at the start of the 4th quarter. Giants have scored 3 4th quarter touchdowns, their last coming after a controversial play. Giants second-year receiver Victor Cruz ruled to have given himself up.
26.
Had it been ruled a fumble, Cardinals recovered, but because it was ruled that he gave himself up, Ken Wisenhunt could not challenge, and the Giants took the lead. Second down and 10. Kolb over the middle, and it's complete for a first down and more to early Doucette, who takes it all the way down to the Giants' 37.
The Giants have got to get to the if you let Kevin Kolb sit in that pocket and not feel hurried, that's what he's going to do to your defense.
Kolb on first down inside the 30. It's Todd Heap. Cardinals still with 2 timeouts remaining.
Absolutely right, Delvin. On that play, the 2 inside tackles for the Giants, they just stopped right at the line of scrimmage and let Kolb throw the ball, try to get their hands up and tip it, but got to bring the heat right in the middle of the field.
Second down and 1, and Kolb is sacked for the 4th time today. Back at the 40-yard line, it's Osi Umenyiora, his 2nd sack in his season debut.
Oh, he did a great job of maintaining possession. I thought he was going to put the ball on the ground. Osi Umenyiora, number 72, working against Levi Brown. He's got Dave Tollefson, too. Looks like they were trying to set up a screen, and they didn't hold it that long.
I think Tollefson jumping didn't allow Kevin Kolb to go and get the ball out to that screen and gave Osi Umenyiora a little bit more time. Let's watch Tollefson right here. He jumps right here, boom. He can't get the ball off, and that gave Osi Umenyiora a little bit more time to go and get the sack. Kevin Kolb does a nice job of calling timeout there also.
I think Levi Brown's got to sit a little bit more. It's kind of like that old Pittsburgh draw, Goose, where you kind of, you pass set, and then push him by. Looked like he let Osi Umenyiora go way too early, and then the guy inside, Dave Tollefson, did the same thing. They didn't sell that screen. They weren't patient enough.
So now 3rd down and 11. A minute 14 remaining. Cardinals need a touchdown. From the Giants' 39. Kolb complete to Heap, and he's tackled by Roll at the 30.
Here's a tough one here. Do you take that timeout so you can get the right play called on 4th down, or just go?
4th down and 2. Cardinals do not use their final timeout. Kolb on 4th down. It was broken up by Corey Webster. Intended for Larry Fitzgerald on 4th down. Cardinals elect not to use the timeout, and Webster breaks up the pass. Giants will take over on downs.
I would have called the timeout and got over and made sure I had the exact play I wanted. In this situation, it's just over. And obviously, you know, you're thinking Larry Fitzgerald slant. Larry Fitzgerald slant. Early Doucette clears. Great play by Corey Webster at that time, but I'm just thinking that you call the timeout, you come over to the sideline, you get together, you put together a great drive. You're down to the 30-yard line, so you're going to be sitting at 51 seconds, you know, sitting there with a 4th and 1 with no more timeouts left, but you convert that 1st down, you come out, you spike the ball, now you got 2nd down and 10, and you go from there. But I really would have been in favor of calling a timeout there by Coach Wisenhunt.
The Arizona Cardinals led by 10 with under 4 minutes remaining. The Giants have scored 3 fourth-quarter touchdowns. Last time the Giants overcame a 10-point deficit in the 4th quarter to win a game, 2006 in Philadelphia, a 30-24 win in overtime. Could this game become the Giants' version of their loss to the Eagles last December?
I just don't know what the response will be from the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, it's 3 heartbreaking losses back-to-back, and just a real controversial play that was a key component of this Giant comeback with that ruling that Victor Cruz gave himself up. We wouldn't even be in this scenario right now, but the Arizona Cardinals, I mean, for 3 weeks in a row now, an opportunity to win the game at the end, and they can't pull it off. So
you got to give a little credit to the Giants, too. You know, Coach Coughlin's been preaching finish, 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 and that's exactly what they did. They didn't give up. They came out there. They did what they had to do to win this game, Darryl.
But you know what, Goose? You know, they have so much confidence now. They have so much belief in what they're doing that it really doesn't matter the situation that they get into. And, you know, that was a huge win for them last week, and we talked about it at the top, the confidence. When you get into this type of game, having that confidence that you've done this before and you can do it again is huge.
Well, that play, that call will be talked about, looked at all week long. Giants win by 4. We'll return to Arizona after these messages.